Howdy, Truth Seekers. Back again with another episode. This is episode number 29, and we named it Cryptid Chasing with Paul Chafin. Mount up, Truth Seekers. It's been a long time, and we're just going to kind of shoot from the hip tonight and just talk about cryptids or whatever comes up and see where the trail takes us tonight. So it's good to see everybody. Good to see you here, Paul. Good to see you, dude from Texas.
Thank you.
AKA the Fort Worth Phantom. All right.
Great to be here.
Let's do this.
Yeah, this is always fun, y'all.
I absolutely love it. It's always a wild ride when Paul's on board.
Hey, who got us into this, Lee? Hey. It was Mr. Chafin.
That's right. If it wasn't for him, he's like that mountain man in Jeremiah Johnson. He's the one on the mountain. he's our mentor.
Yes, sir.
Man, I tell you what, it's just been a wild ride and fun to go out there and just take pictures and look around and try to see what you can find. And sometimes it's kind of spooky to get home and see the real deal. And you're like, I was right there, and I know it was right about where it was at, and it's spooky. Yeah. I went back in one place where I got that picture of that thing peeking around the tree on me, and I got spooked back in there because I heard some whistles just as I dropped my crossbow or lowered my crossbow down my tree, man, and I was spooked. So I came back down out of there faster than I went up in there. I can tell you that.
But Paul, for those that don't know, we know what got you into this, but tell everybody about. How long have you been doing this now, as far as researching and just trying to find out answers on the whole dogman topic itself?
Probably about 3 or 4 years. For 2 years I've been going at it pretty hard now, but for 3 or 4 years, once I met Kurt, started hanging out with him, pretty regularly. We were going out every weekend or every other weekend at least.
Did Kurt start Kentucky Dogman, or was it you, or both of y'all?
I started it.
Oh, okay. I thought so.
I started it with Kurt, but he had some other things going on at the time.
Shout out Kurt Stokes.
Yeah, he had some health issues going on, so he really didn't have time to mess with
it. Yeah, he's another one that motivated us too.
Well, I brought Carol Crow on board, and she really ran it for a while. Shout out to her. She took care of a lot of stuff on there because I didn't have time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's took off now. Since I did that interview with Vic the other night, I've probably got 1,400 people, and I've turned down far more people than I've let in.
Wow. That means a lot. It means a lot to come, on our little show, man. It means a lot to us. Like I said, man, you motivated us. When I saw your pictures just from 2 years ago, I was blown away and was like, man, what is going on? There's obviously something in these pictures, so it made me want to try it. And, there they are, like right here in the city. And I'm like, what is going on? And even Ghost Lee started it, tried it, and there they are in his photos as well. Pareidolia is always something, but when you see stuff with eyes, teeth, head, torso, all that in one picture, that to me is not pareidolia, and that.
Yeah, if you've got trees around your house right now, or a forest close, you can go out there right now tonight, turn your flash on, and snap pictures, and probably get some really good pictures.
Hey, Paul, can you tell us a little bit about that picture you took where there was eyes around the fire at night?
I'll be honest, I can't tell you anything about it because it freaked me out. I don't know. We were just out there hanging out with a friend. I built a fire, and
that was freaky.
Yeah, that was close, man.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a fence right there, and there's a house on the other side. There is no, you know what I'm saying? There ain't no car, and it was like 12 o'clock at night. There was nobody else, and it was quiet. We were all just sitting out there talking, and I snapped a couple of pictures. I wasn't even.
Wow.
You've showed us pictures where you live in the area around there, and it's just amazing the stuff that you're catching around there.
I mean, we live in a suburb, you know, like we live in a.
Oh yeah. So
But
have
Scott Carpenter catches a lot of stuff around his house too, and he's got a lot of neighbors and stuff too. So
have
Yeah,
you
he does.
have you added anything to your arsenal this year that's any different equipment or anything that you want to share?
no, I still take the same stuff out. I mean, I stay with what works, you know. I mean,
That's good.
I had to get a new phone. I dropped my other one and broke the button on it, so or the home button. So yeah, I ended up having to get a new phone, which it's iPhone 14. It's got
Oh man.
the camera on it. Fucking amazing. I mean, it's
Yeah, you've been through a lot of phones. I remember just in the couple of years that I've known you. Well, I mean, as far as your research phones, anyway.
yeah. I mean, I use this phone for everything. Like I transferred all my pictures and videos and all that stuff to it.
So the so the iPhone by far has the best resolution, even as far as posting on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
Okay.
I don't really know. No phone's really gonna.
Well, I've noticed on your pictures that when you post them on Facebook, man, they look great, and because the processing, I mean the Facebook processor, picture processor, sucks.
Yeah,
With
yeah. Well,
phones like mine, but
yeah.
yours, man, they're clear.
Well, if your pictures are even slightly blurry on your own phone, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like they're 80%. When you upload them to Facebook, they're going to go down to 50%. You know,
Right.
it's going to take 20 or 30% of the picture away. The quality or the clarity is just gone. You know.
Oh yeah.
And you know, people talk about being in a rut or whatever, or with these pictures, or I don't know. I just really the distance that I've came just from videos and pictures, the stuff I've learned and found out in the last 2 years is unbelievable. Just from video and pictures, just from the orbs, the cloak thing, all that stuff. These are all things I could have never found out had I not recorded video. So you know what I'm saying? And it's really just sitting down and having the patience to review the footage. If you've got the patience to go, you don't have to. Pretty soon you'll get good enough to go through it frame by frame. You know when you can just skip on through and when you need to sit and pay attention. And you start learning where they like to hide at and what to look for. I can pull up down there now, which I'm sure they know the sound where I drive that Mustang. They know the sound of my car, so when I pull in, I'm sure they know.
I keep forgetting about that. That's important.
Well, and I found out like all those big dog tracks that was down there last time we went. I mean, huge tracks. I casted one of them, so naturally, the next time we went back, there wasn't a single track nowhere. So I mean, they know what I'm doing. I guess they just know when they see you casting that track, they
Right.
they
Yeah,
figure it
there's
out.
even other researchers have said they know the smell of just the equipment, not just the car and yourself, just the equipment alone.
Yeah.
I found another juvenile print and a big print, and they were toe to toe with each other. And the weird thing about it is they come out of the creek and they walked down the gravel road, Paul, and they stepped in where the car tracks were. The footprints were over top of the car tracks. And when I found them, I went back up in the creek a little bit. I took video of it, and then I went up the creek, and I didn't get just a few feet up in that creek, and the game wardens were there just like immediately. Like, I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know if they knew those things were in the area or what, but I was up on a ridge top way in the back, and I heard a car go by, and I got to look. I just kind of was standing behind a tree, and this car went by real slow. And so when I saw the game wardens, I went back up there, and when I come out to my car, that car had stopped, like it was looking back my way or looking up there. I don't think it could see me because I was so deep in the woods, but I could see them. And I got back to my car, and somebody had smoked a cigarette and left a cigarette butt right by my truck door. and it wasn't there. When deer hunters, we pay attention to detail. When we go in the woods, we're looking for sign and shit like that. So our nose are on the ground like a hound dog, And I was paying attention. There was nothing there in the parking lot. But when I come back, there were cigarettes. So then I seen those game wardens, and I questioned them. I said, "You fellas smoke?" And they said, "No, why?" And I said, "Because." I said, I went in the woods up there and was taking pictures earlier. And I said, I come back out, and there was a cigarette laying by my vehicle. And they said, no. They said, we don't smoke. But they said, did you have anything missing out of your car? And I said, no. And then they said, have you happened to seen a white SUV? And I said, yeah. I said, there's a white SUV was sitting down there. I said, he had a pink steering wheel, and he had a sticker on the side of it. So I give them all these details, and they said, yep, that's the one we're looking for. And they headed down there, but they were acting like, like they were looking for this guy, like they was going to get him, And so then I got in the car after they went on down the road, packed my stuff back up. And then I had about, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes later, I kind of went down the way that they were. And then here come this guy out of the woods, and he come right down to the back of that car, and they was talking to him like they was buddies. And he looked like that guy looked like he might've been a tracker. So I don't know if he knew that those cryptids were in that area or what, and that they'd been tracking them. But it was awful funny, like they was going to get him, but then when you got up there, it was like they was best buddies,
Well,
so it was unusual.
I talked about it in the interview with Vic, but I went out with Renee down here, and she, like I said, we walked around out there, but Chrissy ended up showing up too. But we walked all around that place. Like I said, when you pull into that parking lot, there's 2 river bottoms on each side of the parking lot. The parking lot kind of divides it in half. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
4-wheeler trails on both sides. So we walked like that right side. When soon you pull into the parking lot, if you're looking at the river, we were on the right side. And we walked all the way back in there and came around. We recorded some, and then we came up by that old house and walked down the road and was coming back and was going to go in the left side. But there'd been an old Silverado truck sitting over there in the wide spot there where everybody parties and burns stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He was just pulled up in there, and I didn't really think any people down there all the time, And as I walked by, I heard a radio.
Like a police radio.
Yeah, like a police radio. I heard it, and then I looked in there, and he was wearing a uniform. A game worn uniform. So he's like, yeah, you can't go back in there now. You can't go back in there. That's private property. He says, you can go anywhere else around here, but you can't go back in there. And, I was like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't go, what? He's like, yeah, that guy don't want nobody. I was thinking to myself, what are you down here like guarding it? Were you going to keep people out forever or what,
You're right. Exactly. That don't make any sense.
Well, I told that game warden, I said, there's some here. I had a gun on my hip, and we were recording and had equipment and stuff, backpacks, and I was like, there's some crazy stuff down here going on, right? He's like, oh yeah, there is. I said, no, I'm not talking about. I said, I'm talking about in these woods. There's some crazy. He said, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He knew. Yeah,
and well, check this out. So after that, we were like, all right. So we just kind of walked off back over toward the cars. We couldn't go back in there. There really was nothing else we could do.
Mm-hmm.
So we got over around the cars and was just bullshitting and talking and getting ready to leave. And a game warden truck pulled in. Now, keep in mind, the whole time I've been going there, I've never seen a game warden in this town.
That's exactly what I was going to tell you. The area where I go, I ain't never seen one out there. And in the day that I find a track right there on the road and right coming out of that creek, they're there within minutes. I mean, just like on cue, they were. And they rolled right over that track. I didn't act like I knew that track was even there. I ain't going to give them no information because they already know.
Well, monitoring. Well, we got ready to leave. I was literally loading my stuff in the car, and another game warden truck pulled in. This one was marked, and it had 2 game wardens in it. And he pulled up and backed in, and they just sat there and stared at me. Like that. So broke eye contact, had sunglasses on and shit, had their uniforms on. He just sat there and stared. I don't care, you know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about law enforcement of any kind. I don't care. I wasn't hunting or fishing, so I don't care. So I just got in my car, and when I went to pull off, they were getting out. And they were going in on the right side over where I had just came from. There were some guys back in there fishing. I'm assuming that's where they were going, but
they know what you're doing. They know what you're out there doing, Paul.
Yeah, no, I've never seen them since. Never seen them since. Never seen them before that.
Yeah.
Did you
Shout
get any?
shout out to Renee too. She's got some amazing pictures. I think she was on Vic's show too a couple weeks ago, and man, she's got some good pictures too. Paul, you've taught her well too.
Well, I didn't teach her, man. I did like her. She was getting those pictures before I just noticed her in one of the groups posting her pictures.
Right. Okay.
And she was getting pictures like in the reflection of doors at her house and stuff, like some.
Oh,
crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
she showed me some of those, and I was like, whoa, like a Sasquatch head, like literally like peeking through the freaking patio door, and then not only that, she had one of like the Adam. I think you saw this one. The 7, 8, 9 foot tall looking dog man with the pointy ears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When she was with you, Paul, and right across the embankment, like not even probably 60 yards away, maybe.
Yeah, it was about 60 to 100 yards, probably. It's on the other side of the river. It was a little ways away.
Unbelievable.
But when she showed me that footage while we were down there in real time, as soon as she took it, she showed it to me, and I could see the orbs and stuff flying in and out of it. And that's another thing. Like,
oh wow!
These orbs will literally come out of nowhere, and you'll see them. You'll see these orbs floating, and they'll it's like they go into something, or they pass behind something and disappear. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing there.
Oh, so you're seeing the orbs. You're seeing the orbs, not looking through the picture, and then when you see the picture, the dog man is there.
No, like I don't see the orbs with my eyes unless I'm looking at my phone. You know what I'm saying? When I get back to the house and I'm reviewing footage, you'll see these orbs. They'll come out of these dogman's mouth or wherever they're coming from. I don't know, but they'll come out, and you can tell the difference between an orb and a bug. You know what I'm saying? Just by the way it moves.
Oh yeah,
it moves,
no doubt.
It moves so smooth, just like a UFO or something would. And it'll light the leaves up as it goes by it.
Yeah, bugs sit there and kind of zigzag and go all over the place. Or, like you said, orbs have that smooth gliding, right? Do you have any prints by you right now?
I do.
The cats you can show us? Yeah,
look, check this one out. Now, this was a big
look at the claws on that.
Look at that! I thought I saw a big one. That one is.
This one is the one we got the other day. Like
that's bigger. That's as big as your hand, buddy.
I mean, that's a monster track.
Wow. Dang.
Okay. Was that your most recent one out of the Daniel Boone?
Yeah. No, this one came from right down here at the river.
Oh, okay.
I said I casted it.
It just goes to show you, man. You don't have to be in the national forest, man. You can be. You can be at a dead end at the dead end of some woods, and they'll be there.
Look at that one. Look at that one, David. Wow. That's got some got some length to it, man.
Man, Ghost, man, I gotta get me some of that plaster, dude.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm out of it. I gotta get me some more too.
Oh, he's gonna bust out some more.
I keep all this stuff with me when I go. I keep a bottle of water to mix.
Yeah. Do you use a plastic Ziploc bag? Yep, there you go. I tried to get some at the hobby store the other day, and they was all sold out of it. I was all bummed out, man.
I keep one of these little pans and mix it in.
I think he said Hobby Lobby, Lee.
Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, he got his at the Hobby Lobby.
What's the name of that, Dave or Paul? What's it say?
It is Perfect Cast.
Perfect Cast. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to remember that. And you got that at Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, and it dries fast too. I think that cast I showed you dried in like 15 minutes.
Wow. Now, Paul, when you make a cast, do you put anything around it? Like, do you make like a little form around it, or you just kind of pour it in it?
Yeah, it just depends on where it's at. If it's on flat ground, I'll just pour it in it. I always try to fill it up and have a little overspill, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're not taking it up, you need to take a little shovel like I got. That way you can pry it up, all the way around it. Because if you pry it up a little bit and start pulling on it, it'll break. Because it gets really hot. I don't know if you've ever this stuff gets really hot when it's drying. Like
I was
drywall plaster.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if it got hot because the time that I made the plaster cast that I took, it got hot. Man,
Well, I went down the day before and tried to cast a track down there. It wasn't this one; it was another one. And all I had was some 45-minute drywall Durabond that I had. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't even the next day when I went down, it still wasn't dry. So there just wasn't no way.
I wish we knew how to do the mathematics to figure out how deep in the ground it is and how big the paw is to figure out what the body weight would be.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too.
These were in sand. This one right here was in sand.
Man, that's a perfect cast, Paul. That is perfect, man.
Yeah, it was in
danger. And look at the space between the toes is what gets me, man,
Yeah, right here. I mean, it had, you know what I'm saying? That thing's got fingers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the biggest.
And that's like it's not even trying. Imagine if it wanted to, you know what I'm saying, really spread its fingers.
Yeah, my husky weighs like 75 pounds, 80 pounds, and it's big.
That gives you an impression of how deep it is. Wow.
How does it compare, your husky, Paul, to the...
That track there's bigger than both hers put together. Both her front paws put together.
And she's 70 pounds, husky. Yeah. Wow.
70 to 80 pounds.
Wow. That's a monster right there. That is a monster.
That's a 200, 300 pound animal for sure.
Have you been hearing any more growls or seen the bushes moving or anything since you've been down there, Paul?
I also haven't been out like that either. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, most time I'm out, Chrissy's been with me, and I really don't. I don't go too hard, when she's out there with me. We kind of stay close.
Hey, Ghost Lee, talk about that trip, buddy. If you ever want to make it happen, man.
I'm definitely going to make it happen. I just I'm getting to the point where I've got time, getting my time.
I've always got time.
So I just I want to be on a convenient time for Paul, and we're going to do it, man. I don't know how far we're going in, but we're going in somewhere.
Well, I've got a place that I'd like to go.
Okay.
I haven't got to go in yet. It's down there at the river, and there's a creek that runs. Like I said, there's a creek that runs out to that river.
Yeah.
And that creek goes by an old abandoned house, and then it goes back in like the mountain. When you come down to the river, as you're coming down, to your right is a big ravine. It goes way down in there to that creek. It kind of follows the road, and it's way down in there. But I've never walked that creek back up.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, fellas, I got to let the dog out real quick. I'll be right back.
That's all right.
I'd like to do that.
Is the creek itself, is it a bedrock creek, or is it just sandy bottom? Or
I mean, it's just rock, old creek rock and stuff. It ain't deep. It's probably dried up.
Yeah, the one that I go in and get all the stuff that I found, it had been dried up for a while, but we've had some rain, so it was really rolling the other day. And that this creek in particular, it's got bedrock in it. And man, you really got to watch, because if you step on it just wrong, it'll slide. Man, that's a nice one, Paul. Man,
that's the first one I ever casted.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Man,
it's got that big pyramid shape in
the paw.
I forget what they call it now, but
hey, Paul, real quick, have you ever come across any Sasquatch prints? I know it's a dumb question, but while you're looking for these, have you ever came across what looked like one?
Yeah, I've casted one, but I couldn't get the toes and stuff because it stepped. It was it was off one of those fuller trails down there, and it wasn't a very well used path, and you could tell that some truck or something with narrow tires pulled back in the mud. So when that Bigfoot stepped over in there, and listen, I don't know if you guys have ever been around any weeds like these down here, but if those weeds touch your ankle, you literally have to sit down and scratch and rub your ankle.
Are they nettles?
I don't know what they're called.
Because they stick through your pants like a needle.
No.
Yeah. I know what he's talking about.
These are something weird. You can't even see them with your eye. But if they rub your leg, I mean, it is terrible, dude. I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah, that's like that in East Texas, but thank God here, and it's not there. We don't have that.
Well, see, I took a picture of those weeds the other day while I was down there, and because I was wearing blue jeans, and I guess it still ended up touching my ankle. And the more I went, you just have to scratch it and rub it. crazy.
Oh, you're gonna be scratching all freaking day.
We got those.
I wore shorts down there one time. And the guy,
Oh,
I walked over in that creek, and when I come back up, I come up in the middle of those weeds. So I had to have him like stomp over to me and stomp all those weeds down so I could get out of there. It was terrible.
oh man, I bet that was miserable. I bet you didn't wear shorts back in there again, did you?
No, I'll never wear shorts down there again.
I went down made a mistake, deer hunting down on river bottoms and was wearing bibbed overalls. It was those thin, like turkey hunting bibbed overalls. Yeah. And I walked through a whole patch of stinging nettles, man. And it felt like hypodermic needles shooting you all over, man. That hurts.
Yeah, I don't know what these weeds are called.
And they'll burn for days, man. Will that stuff burn for days when you?
It burns for about an hour. You know what I'm saying? Like it bothers you for about an hour, and it don't really hurt as much as it's just aggravating and itches. You know, like.
Does it feel like there's something
right now
in
the
there?
ticks are out too.
I don't even know how to explain it, man. It's like I don't know. It's like I don't even know what part of the plant does it. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah.
But apparently the place is covered in them. Like, and you can't look at it with your eyes and see anything on it that looks like it would do that to you. But if it rubs your leg, I mean, and whatever it rubs on you, I think it leaves on you. You know, like
it has a poison in it or an
oil. Little bitty, tiny, fine needles or something. I mean, just thousands of them.
I've been hit by stuff like that. I know what you're talking about, and it's miserable.
Yeah, I went down with Ricardo Sanchez, come and stopped in and stayed at one of the motels here, and he went down there with me one day, and we stayed down there for about 3 or 4 hours, and we hiked way back in there.
Did you?
But, yeah, we went back in there. I ended up getting some good footage, but the whole time we were there, you could hear this sound of it sounded like bees swarming,
like a humming.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like, bees swarming, And you know, like me and Chrissy, we were talking about this the other day. A long time ago when she was pregnant, we had went down here to this Jim Beam Preserve, and was back in there on that hiking trail. And we weren't down there to do any research or anything. We were literally just hiking. And I didn't have my gun on me, of course. So we got about halfway through that hiking trail, and I heard something like, you know, it makes a big circle. The trail does. It's probably a half a mile if you stretched it out straight.
Mm-hmm.
But we walked in and got all the way around and was at the bottom. You know, we were halfway through it. And if you look back up the mountain, you can't see the trail, but the trail that you came in on is back up the mountain. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I seen something move or heard some branch break or something. And I stopped and was looking. And the strangest bird that I've ever heard in my life sounded off. I've never heard another bird do it since. I've never heard it before. Now I know I've heard so many people talk about it in interviews. I don't think it was a bird, and I just got the feeling that we needed to get out there. And as I kept walking, I was leading the way, and I was kind of trying to watch her. She's short and got short legs anyway, and she was like 8 months pregnant. So I just knew that I kept seeing something moving the trees up the hill, and I knew that the way it was going, you know what I'm saying? Like we were going to cross paths, like it was going to have to cross in front of us or behind us. And I never did see anything, but now I'm 100% positive that something was there. Something was watching us and didn't want us in there and wanted us out.
Now, have you ever heard, Paul, like when you're out in the woods and moving around, have you ever heard a bird just make one whistle, and you know that you're expecting to hear more than one whistle because usually a bird will do more than one whistle, but you know, like just something like that, and it just does it the one time.
Sounds out of place.
Yes, I had that happen to me the other day when I went back in where I go all the time.
Well, I found out that usually your first instinct, is probably right.
Mm-hmm. I had the area I went back in, I about got hit by a copperhead, so I thought, I'm not letting you leave. You're not keeping me out of here, you know, so I'm going to find a way around. So I backtracked.
You said 2 copperheads, didn't you?
Yeah, there was 2 of them there. And
see that video I posted about, I think it was 2 years ago? I was ginsenging in eastern Kentucky, and up on the point behind my grandfather's house, There's
Oh,
a big
yeah.
pile of rocks because they did a lot of gardening back in the day. There was no area that was not garden, you know.
Yeah.
They would pile rocks up there on that point, and now they've kind of sunken into the ground a little bit. But every time I come through there, I'll pick up a big stick and I'll like wave it in front of me on the ground and like, because I don't. Them copperheads are vicious, man.
They're camouflaged too, man.
Yeah.
You can't see them
Well, even
sometimes.
me waving that stick, you know, as I got on the other side of those rocks, my boots were loose, so I sit down on the ground. I had a shotgun with me, and I had my 9mm on my chest.
Mm-hmm.
So, I leaned my gun against the tree, and I sit down and was tying my boot. And I was just sitting there after I got done, and I looked over, and there was a copperhead right there, about 10 feet from me, curled up. I literally stepped right over top of it. And I don't know how I didn't get bit.
Yeah.
But I shot it with that 9mm and killed it. But
Oh, they strike so fast too.
Well, you know, when I seen the first one, it went across the rock in front of me, and it went underneath it, and it was like where the sun was hitting it, so it was warming up. But then there was also shade, so if they wanted to get in just the right temperature, they could, you know. And so I'm looking at it, and I see it going down under the rock, and I thought, hell with it, I'm just going to take a chance and move on through there. And so the thought crossed my mind before I took a step, and the thought crossed my mind, it's the one that you don't see that gets you.
Yeah.
And I took a fucking, excuse my language, I took a step, and I took a step up on that rock and went to take another step, and just as I took the other step, man, it shot up between my legs, and I shot backwards off of that rock. I said, God Almighty.
I bet you did.
You know,
my uncle,
he was striking, man. He about got me in the.
My uncle was. This has been a long time ago, back in the early '90s, probably. But he was. I don't know if he was deer hunting or squirrel hunting or what. I think he was squirrel hunting, I would say. But he said all he had with him was a. No, he was coon hunting. I'm sorry. All he had with him was a .22 rifle, and he said he was headed up this little trail, and he said he walked right up on a big rattlesnake. He said it was about 5 feet from him. He said it never did rattle. He said out of instinct, he said I had that gun holding it, you know, down. He said I swung around and shot the hip with that gun. He said, and I swear to God, that snake struck that bullet. And he said it hit that snake dead between the eyes and killed it.
What?
The only way it could have killed it like that was if that snake had been in the middle of striking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so he was quick.
It struck the bullet. What are the odds of that?
I don't know. That's what he says. I think, you know, either he caught it in the middle of it striking him, you know,
Yeah.
he just so happened to get lucky and shoot it in the
Man,
head. But
that is unbelievable.
But he swears it struck that bullet.
Oh, I believe it.
Hey, stranger things have happened, you know. Just when you think you've seen it all out in the woods, it's something weird will happen, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all were talking about when the women come with us, taking pictures or whatever, what have you, and this got me thinking. I know, Paul, you've talked about it before. When a woman is on their cycle, pictures have been, these things show up, and I don't think it's a coincidence. What do you think about that, Paul? Is it a coincidence, or is it? Do you really think that they pick up on that scent?
Well, I give people advice. I had a guy just literally a couple of days ago message me asking for advice on getting footage and stuff, and all I can say is like I've said before, kids, like women and kids in a place where kids are playing and screaming and stuff. If you can find a tree line, that stuff's going on.
That's it. When I first met you, that's one of the first things you told me. You said where kids play, and that's where I first started taking pictures. Was at apartments. There was a playground, a creek by the Trinity River, and right there. I mean, right there where these things could sit and watch all of that.
That's why you get the footage, man. Like the place that you think they wouldn't be is where they're going to be.
Wow. I believe it. Hell, yeah. I mean, hell, you got one of the best pictures, or Chrissy did. What was it? The damn Best Buy or Walmart parking lot?
That was down here, like literally a mile from the house at we were at Rite Aid. And I literally got out and was just I just took some pictures for the hell of it.
Yeah, big old. I mean, yeah. Well, was that the big massive one with the claws and everything?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I think it was. It was a damn good picture. I know. Well, I know Chrissy got one too on the back of the 4-wheeler, I think. And y'all didn't, taking random pictures, and you got home later and looked at the evidence, and it was right there, man. It was one of the best ones I've ever seen. It was huge, man. I'm talking. Oh man, I know what you want. I know you got so many. It's probably hard to remember, but man, it was one of the best ones I've ever seen of a full bodied dog man. I'm talking head to toe.
Yeah, she don't record as much as I do, but because her phone don't have a lot of storage on it, but she'll record over her shoulder the whole time we're there. If she is
Yeah, I
recording.
think it was an over the shoulder picture. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's all kinds of techniques, man. Like, I literally just try new stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of think
Lee and I have a theory too about power lines, man. And what do you think about that? Have you gotten pictures around power lines?
Man, it's strange to say, but I've got pictures in Walmart parking lot inside people's trucks.
Well, I remember the one you showed me in the computer monitor in your house.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
or was it the TV screen?
Like, I really do believe now.
Inverted. You remember you showed me that picture and you inverted it, man, and it showed like 6 dog men. Like,
I started doing research into that.
And it was crazy.
I found out that back in the day that witches would use a black mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, you told me that.
Have you ever looked at a flat screen TV when it's off?
It's a black mirror.
Yeah, a mirror. And and in the movie, what's that movie where the demons go into the mirror and it breaks, and that's how you get rid of them or whatever. The one with Keanu Reeves. Constantine, right? So those demons go into that mirror, and it made me think, like, well, what's in these TVs, man? They're mirrors, so makes you wonder,
I think Nostradamus used a black mirror too.
Sorry.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Sorry, Paul. Go ahead, buddy.
No, I don't. I used to just think in terms of dimensions, being off. You don't think of it being overlaying or here, like we're sitting in. But what puzzles me is whatever these things are in these dimensions are able to see us and interact with us, growl at us, stare at us. You know what I'm saying? But we can't see them and do none of that stuff. So to me, that's just strange. I don't know. I don't know how.
Well, I believe they can see us a lot better than we can see them. We're just now catching on to it,
I mean, yeah, they're big. I mean, some of these things are 30 and 40 foot tall. You know what I'm saying? Like, these things are, I don't know if they're biblical from the Nephilim days or what. I don't know what's going on.
That's a whole nother show.
Have you been watching Scott Carpenter's last video on that genome study?
The last one I saw of Scott's was about a month ago. I haven't seen anything recent.
He just released one a couple of days ago, but it was of that
okay.
The portal in the middle of the road.
I'll post it in my Texas group if I find it today. Tonight.
It's the one before that. It says part 1. Like, he's going to do like a series on the DNA study that they did.
Okay.
And it came back. The dog man and the Bigfoot both came back with a human mother and unknown father.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Paul, do you know if any of these areas where you go in and look around and try to get your evidence, do you know if there are any connections to like 411? Has there been any people missing in these areas?
Not that I know of. I've never heard David Pilates talk about Kentucky before. Like, you would think the Daniel Boone National Forest it's an easy place to go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there is far, way back, because David Pilates only goes so far back, Yeah.
Well, I feel like they would probably keep it covered up real good too here.
Oh yeah.
Daniel
no
Boone,
no doubt.
Huh?
Talk about the game where we went down.
I already told him about it. But yeah, like the Daniel Boone National Forest is it's covered in cliffs and overhangs. It's all it is. It's literally just a bunch of cliffs.
I saw a map.
Limestone.
Yeah.
I saw a map of like some missing people and the cave systems,
Yeah, I seen that too.
and it matches with the cave systems.
Hmm. I've heard a lot about Mammoth
Well,
Cave.
Caves and Daniel Boone too, I'm sure.
Wasn't there an incident recently, maybe a few years back, where the guy was supposedly shot at a Bigfoot at the Mammoth Cave?
I'm not sure. I heard one on, I think it was on the Confessionals with Tony Merkel. He had a guy on that was talking about two guys were supposed to meet to go, I guess, shoot some guns and stuff out in the Daniel Boone.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy got there first, and I guess he got his gun out and was just shooting. And I don't know if he accidentally shot toward one of these Bigfoot or seen it and shot at it. But when they found him with his neck broke and his gun bent double, and he was stuffed up under the dashboard of his truck.
Oh wow!
Yeah, man, it was a vicious attack. So whatever he did, he pissed him off.
My wife talked to a guy at the grocery store. He was a homeless guy, and I think she bought him a pizza or she did something. But anyway, he was an older gentleman that we always seen him around town riding bicycles, and she bought him a pizza and sat and talked to him one day, and he started telling her a Bigfoot story that happened along the river down through here. And he said when he was a young man, he bought a pickup truck off of an old guy, and he said this pickup truck that he bought was a fairly for the it was like back in the 50s when he bought it, and it was like fairly, it would have been like the newest truck that he ever had, but this guy, he knew that this guy had put the wrong kind of oil in it, so it wasn't running right. So it was like the guy thought the truck was messed up, so he thought, I'll get that and put the right oil in it and it'll work. And so he got it, and it ended up being a good truck for him. But while he was talking to the guy, he noticed there was a bullet hole in the dash, because remember the old pickup trucks had the metal dashes in them. And he asked him, he said, well, what happened to your dash here? And so the guy told him, he said he loved to go fishing, and he would go fishing on the weekends, and he would go down to the river, and he would fish at night and then camp out and basically sleep in his truck. And he was sleeping in his truck, and he woke up because the truck was rocking, and he thought that there was a bad windstorm out. And lo and behold, when he looked out the window, it was a Bigfoot shaking his vehicle, and he whipped his gun out and he fired a shot, and it went into the dash. And then he, got in there and started it up and took off.
What was that guy's name? He's well known in the Bigfoot community, but his RV, they were shaking his RV, and he's got that 911 recording.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. I think it happened. Was it Ohio? Is where it happened? And he was gold panning.
It might have been, but yeah, he was a Bigfoot researcher.
Yeah, and he got scared, and
it was
looking into windows.
Like a 45-minute phone call, like it went on forever.
Yeah, yeah. I think Steve out of Hunt talked about that one too.
Yeah, it was vicious, man.
Wasn't there like an interview with the police on that? That the police even talked about, like one came from one way and one came from another direction, and the one finally admitted that he seen the thing running through the woods, or seen one of them. But I think there was multiple ones that night.
I listened to I don't know if it was an interview. I think it was a while back. It's been about a year ago, but there was a guy said that they were camping up on top of this hill, and they had seen some bright lights way out in the woods. And he said it was really bright. He said, I don't know where these lights come from. We didn't see it come in. And when it went out, it was just gone. And he said it wasn't about 10 minutes later, after that light went out, that their whole camp was surrounded by these creatures. These canine, upright looking canine. They had red glowing eyes. He said they were all around the camp. Yeah, he said they left everything. They left their tents up. They left the lanterns burning, the fire going, everything. He said they got out of there and didn't go back until the next day to get their stuff.
Wow. Left all the fishing poles.
Yeah, he said that they were. I don't know what they were doing, but he said that they left everything. They didn't stick around and put the fire out or nothing. But he said there was big canine tracks around it when they got back.
There were some guys down at Turkey Run State Forest here that they were camping out, I guess, around Turkey Run, and they woke up or heard it, or they was sitting around a fire and they could hear this thing knocking like a loud banging, knocking, and they looked in the direction where they heard it, and they could see this Bigfoot peeking around a tree, knocking on the tree with a stick, and it scared them so bad that they took off out of there and left all their tent and gear and everything in the area, and they ended up sleeping and taking off in their cars and sleeping in like a Walmart parking lot or some parking lot until daylight to go back and get their stuff. It scared them so bad. So
yeah, that's crazy, man. There's a lot of stories out there, a lot of good ones. I mean, I like to talk to some of these people.
I would too, man. I got one guy that I've been in contact.
Paul, did anybody in your family, as far as uncles, your father, or grandparents, did they have any cryptid encounters or any that they told you about?
Nah, they wouldn't have talked about it if they did.
That was a taboo thing back in, wasn't it, Paul?
Yeah. My grandpa.
Yeah,
I asked my grandpa.
fear of ridicule.
Well, after I had my encounter, I never did tell my grandpa about it, but I asked him. I said, "You ain't never seen nothing in these woods that you can't explain?" And he was like, all he told me was, he said, "Don't ever go in the woods without a gun." And
they know.
They
knew.
He was dead serious about that.
He saw something and knew something then.
Yeah, he said, "Don't ever go in the woods without a gun." So, and I don't. If I go in the woods, I mean, I have a firearm on me.
Right.
There's been a lot of talk here recently about the UFOs going on, and the government is like acknowledging the UFO subject and this and that. And those people that back in the day that didn't want to talk about the Bigfoot and the things that they saw, they was ridiculed because of the news. And they was always making fun of people that said they had seen something, and the news is always laughing and making fun of everybody. But now the news wants all the glory on the UFOs and the Bigfoot. So now they're coming because nobody wants anything to do with the news anymore because of their lies that they tell. And
that's what I was talking to you about earlier today. Like,
yes,
I was saying, like, my views on everything has just changed over the last
too,
couple
man.
of years.
I'm with you.
I used to think aliens come from a far off planet, and you know what I'm saying. Like, I used to believe in all this stuff, but even though I believed in space and all that stuff, but I never did believe we went to the moon, of course. But I just don't have the same beliefs anymore.
I don't either.
I don't. I think these are demonic. I think these aliens and stuff are demonic. I think they are. I think there's a reason the government's talking about them now.
Hey, Phil Snyder's talked about a lot of that, and half of them were demonic. So I'm right there with you.
Well, I mean, look at the amount of alien encounters that have been stopped just by using the name of Jesus.
Yeah. Yes. I've heard that.
Yeah, I mean,
not only that, dogman encounters, Bigfoot encounters. I'm kind of on the fence about some of them being extraterrestrial because people pray and they go away. I mean, not extraterrestrial. I'm sorry, demonic. I'm sorry, because people pray.
Well, look at it like this. I mean,
people pray and then they go away.
Back in the 40s, there was what's that guy's name? Aleister Crowley.
Yeah.
He was doing a lot of sex rituals, sex magic and stuff out in where Area 51 is now. But before Area 51 was there, they were doing a lot of, rituals and stuff out there. Him and Jack Parsons.
Sick ass rituals and stuff. Yeah.
JPL Laboratories, Jet Propulsion Laboratory or Jack Parsons Labs.
He brought through a demon named Lamb. And if you go and look at it, this was before there was ever an alien, before we ever had Roswell or any of that stuff happened. He drew a picture of that. He drew a picture of that demon that come through, and guess what it looked like?
An alien.
And
they say that there's.
They say that the classic big head, bulbous eyes, and all that.
It had normal eyes though, but it looked just like an alien everywhere else. You know,
what I'm saying? Little bitty lips.
Yeah.
Well, they say there are different ones. Yeah. Like the ones on Linda Moulton Howe talks about is called they're called Ebens. Like even
she goes
ones
way off in left field on me though, man. I can't.
Yeah, but there was a certain species that had a head that was almost pear shaped, but they had normal like looking eyes. And then there's another version that has the black, like the black eyes or whatever.
I think everybody just has to. You just have to look at the evidence that's out there, and you just have to make your own. I guess you just have to weigh all the evidence and make a just depending on your beliefs.
Your own conclusions. Yeah.
Well, you sound like you've listened to a lot of the same stuff that I've listened to, and one of the things that I've heard is that even the books that's in the library and all the science and all that stuff that we know and we think is the truth, and it's been pounded in our head all these years that everything is the way it is, that it's all a lie. It's all a bunch of lies and distractions,
I mean, like if you go on YouTube and look up Eric Dubay, have you listened to any of his documentaries?
I have not. But I will. I'll be checking it out now, though.
Listen, he makes a bunch of documentaries, and he does a really good job of using factual documents and stuff. He don't make anything up or insert his own opinion. Everything he tells you is stuff that you can look up yourself. But he goes into dinosaurs. Did you know that before the 1800s, a dinosaur had never been discovered, never mentioned, never talked about, nothing ever? There's none of them, not on the Egyptian walls. Nowhere have they ever talked about a dinosaur before.
And then they appear when they find oil.
Yeah, no. Well, when they started finding Nephilim bones, I believe, when they started finding 20-foot femurs and stuff, what are they gonna say? The Bible's real.
Yeah.
Did you see the thing where
we don't want y'all to know about these giants. We want y'all to know about these so-called dinosaurs. Exactly.
I mean, like I said. Go ahead.
Did you see where the Smithsonian? I take it that they've come out and said that they've destroyed giant bones. Did you see anything about that?
Like if you find one in your backyard right now, the Smithsonian will swoop in and get it, and it'll disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they said that the only dinosaur bone. There's never been more than 20% of a dinosaur ever found. This is their words, and they said that none of the dinosaur bones on display in the world are real. All the real ones are under lock and key, and only a couple of important paleontologists have the key to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it just is all odd to me. I don't know. I'm not saying one way or the other.
But it's like the books that they hide from us in the Vatican. They've got all this Vatican library that's I wouldn't even begin to know how big it is. I mean, we've heard rumors, but
well, let me ask you this: what kind of chance would Satan have if everybody in the world knew for sure God was real and there's consequences for your actions?
He wouldn't have much of a chance, I wouldn't think.
That's what I'm saying. So anything that has to do with that, anything that has to do with, flat Earth, dinosaur, Nephilim, all this stuff is going to be covered up. They pound space. They pound space into your head from the time you're a kid. So I mean. People have cognitive dissonance. They just cannot. They don't want to admit they've been lied to, or it's an ego trip, or whatever it is. But
I think you said it best one time about how they set a globe in front of us in the classroom.
I mean, like every movie
pounded in our head, huh?
Every movie that comes on, it's the first thing you see is a globe, and then they zoom in on. I mean,
yeah. When we grew up in elementary school, what was on every desk? A globe, and what did we do? We walk up there and spin it, and it gets stuck in your brain. This is round, this is round, this is round. From kindergarten on up.
Well, here's how I made my decision, and like flat Earth and all that stuff is not something that you can convince anybody of. It's something that they have to learn on their own.
It's so hard to comprehend and wrap your mind around. It took me years to believe that.
Well, for me, like you either believe that the Bible is the Word of God or you don't. That's what it comes down to me. Like it says in Job 38:14 that the earth took shape like clay beneath a seal.
Right.
So that's pretty cut and dry to me. There's no misinterpreting it or taking it out of context. The earth sits on pillars, but cannot be moved.
But you got the the King James version and the the other one. It's like which it's like it's like I'm confused on one and then I'm convinced on another. So
they both say the same thing. The Hebrew Bible says the same thing.
What if it's a playbook for the Revelations?
Well, the Hebrew Bible is what was translated to the King James.
See, I've heard that too.
So I think
you told me that, Paul.
It says God
Yes, sir.
encompassed. It says God encompassed the waters.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't know, man. I don't
Wow.
know. It's I mean, just we're shooting through space at 66,600 miles an hour. I mean, these numbers are just, a little sketchy. But
Astronomical.
yeah, the 666 just seems to the first woman to stay in space. The record was 666 days. Imagine that.
Yeah. That number keeps coming up a lot in different things, you know it?
Yeah, with space for sure.
You know, the rocket booster I wanted to say it was the Saturn rocket that Jack Parsons and Aleister Crowley that you're talking about. The
Yeah.
Jack Parsons, the rocket booster is a 5-pointed pentagram star.
Yeah, I mean,
And it's
and
that design.
before Elon Musk took over, like NASA was getting $50 million a day, every day, from Congress, from taxpayers, to fund the space program, and they were showing us Photoshop pictures of the Earth from space. They can't even turn the Hubble telescope around right now and settle all this.
But we can pay for it, you know it, Paul? We can keep paying for it through taxes.
I mean, I don't
And
I don't try to convince
and
nobody.
Paul,
It's very interesting for sure, though.
you probably know what verse it is in the Bible, but it says it basically says anything out in space is not godly. It's all demonic. As far as when you leave this earth, everything that's out in the dark in space is
Well, the Bible
not
talks about
godly.
wheels within wheels. Like he's got that Nikon 900 that if you look at stars with it, it looks like you're looking at water. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, it's just
Wow.
and it looks like rings inside of rings and stuff. Like the Bible talks about all of it if you go and look it up. But I
And
just I have a really strong conviction and belief that there is no outer space. You know what I'm saying? Like there is none of that shit going on. Like here's what gets me more than anything and really settles it for me. We're corkscrewing around the sun, and the sun is shooting through space, and we're doing this corkscrew around it.
Mhm.
You know, all these we're spinning 1,000 miles an hour. We're going around the sun at 66,600 miles an hour. We're doing all this stuff. The sun's moving at 200 million miles an hour. But yet I can go outside and look at the exact same stars in the sky that George Washington looked at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
Mhm.
crazy. You can't do that. They're in the same spot every single night for thousands of years.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Every single night. Like, really?
You know, I one of the things I've been thinking about is, you know, we was talking earlier about the UFOs coming in and out of the water that they see, you know, coming in and out of the water, and then it talked about the firmament being the waters of heaven, separating the waters of heaven from the waters below or whatever.
Yeah, waters above from the waters below.
Yeah,
And you know, like,
what
have
if
you ever watched the movie Noah?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know,
I've seen parts of
well,
like
they
little
show
pieces.
they like right now that you see these places on Earth where they show these big craters. It looks like something's hit the Earth.
Like their holes opened up.
But what they are is God says He opened up the deep when He flooded the Earth, and that's what these was big guys.
Oh.
But you know what if what we believe of as space and the waters of the firmament up there and the waters here on Earth, what if they're connected? And what if the
Down
oceans
here.
are really
Down
are
here.
part of
Well, it says
space?
He opened up the windows of heaven and broke open the deep to flood the Earth. I mean, not just straight rain is going to flood the Earth in 40 days. It had to be, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, and like these mountains out in Utah and all these places that look like big tree trunks.
Yes.
You know, all this stuff is talked about in the book of Enoch. Like God sent 200 angels down before He flooded the earth to chop these big trees down so the Nephilim couldn't climb them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that's what these are. They're big tree trunks. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, and the Native Americans even talk about them being trees, but you know, the people want to call them a mountain or whatever.
So the Nephilim couldn't climb them, right? Oh, wow, that's interesting, man.
Well, they said that these Nephilim were 3,000 ells tall, and an ell was from your elbow to your hand. 3,000 ells. I mean, that's pretty tall, you know.
Yeah.
And what's that?
I mean, think of that as just 1 foot, you know.
Have you seen that dude, Night God? He makes those videos on TikTok and stuff, and he explores like on Google Earth. He'll explore the ocean floor, and he found footprints that lead from continent to continent, big footprints. I mean, they're unmistakable.
And they're under the water?
I think
Under the ocean,
you showed me. I think you showed me a video of that, Paul, or someone else did on a TikTok video.
Yeah. He shows footprints. I mean, they're unmistakable.
I saw a one video where they had found some kind of tracks underwater was some kind of machinery that they had no idea what this machinery was that crawled along the bottom of the ocean. But
the Bible says in the end there'll be things that come upon this earth that make men's hearts fail. So
yes, yeah,
wow.
That's scary. That's a scary thought, isn't it?
Man, Paul knows his Bible, man. That's awesome.
I'm here to tell you there are things that can almost stop your heart now on this earth.
Oh, you got that right.
There's some scary shit going on.
It's a crazy times we're living in, isn't it, Paul?
You know, I used to believe in ghosts. I used to believe in aliens. I used to believe in all this stuff. I really did, man. And it took a lot of research and a lot of just reading the Bible and like conviction for me to like, you know, it says it's appointed unto man once to die and then the judgment. It don't say you get to hang around and watch over your loved ones and do all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, these are familiar spirits that people are seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. These are demons. This ain't your grandma or your son or whoever. You know what I'm saying? These are demons.
I believe that. Yep.
They're tricking you to think it's them, but it's not.
Yeah, that's why they're called familiar spirits.
Well, and the big question then is, what are we doing here? You know, I mean, why even come here? Why do we have to have this experience?
Like it's a test, maybe.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I kind of thought that one time that maybe, you know, there was this, like it talks about this war in heaven, and that maybe we were part of the war that was in heaven and we were kicked out here to earth and we have to prove our worthiness to get back. You know, it's because it's like we have to keep jumping through all these hoops in order to gain, you know, our way back into heaven. You know,
everything is a belief system. Everybody can say they believe in God, but do they really? You know, like there's different levels to belief, I believe. Like I don't know, because if you really, truly 100% believed and knew that you were going to go to hell for sinning, you wouldn't be doing a lot of stuff. If God come tonight in your dreams and took you and showed you hell, would it change your life? You know what I'm saying? If he took you through a tour of hell and showed you, you know, tomorrow you're going to wake up, you're going to act. For the rest of your life.
It's definitely going to make me think. And I've had dreams like that.
Like I said, there's differences in belief and believing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't pray for things, you believe for them. I truly believe this with all my heart. If you pray and ask God for something and you believe He's going to do it and stop worrying about it, it'll happen.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I believe that. I mean,
I know it's true. I've had it happen.
Oh yeah.
What trips me out is, Paul, is I've prayed, and when I pray for the things that I, you know, for whatever, not just material things, I'm talking, you know, spiritual guidance and this and that, and a closer relationship with God. I get that, but then a day or two later, I will get attacked by Satan's, either by nightmares or by like a friend that I haven't heard from, a so-called friend in 5 years, talking about, hey, I'm in town and let's go drink and party and this and that. And I'm like, dude, that is Satan right there.
Check this out. Like, you can do that. You can ask God to come into your heart and Jesus and all that stuff. And He will. And He'll run these demons out. But like me and Chrissy was listening to last night, He'll run these demons out. And the Bible says they go out into the desert. Mm-hmm. They don't get no rest. They go out into the desert. But they will come back. Paul,
is it God testing me to see if I fall for that?
But the demons will come back. The same demon will come back, and he words it like he comes back to a clean home. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he'll bring 7 more demons with him. This is from the Bible.
So the odds are stacked against us.
So in other words, the demon is saying when he comes back, his house is cleaned up for him and ready to go.
So he's got a clean slate.
God came in,
Satan doesn't like that, you know.
That demon back in.
Yeah. Right. Wow.
You always know when you're on the right track because, like.
Well, yeah, that's just all of us. I've noticed that. Anytime you're doing good in life and you're forming a relationship with God, that's when you're going to get attacked.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All the time.
It's happened to me
every time.
times.
Every time I pray. Every time I pray.
Yeah, if you start doing good in life and start following God and doing right, like you said, I've had, I'll quit doing drugs and stuff throughout my life, and as sure as I quit, somebody will show up with a handful of drugs for free. Here you go, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah.
My cousin will call me. Oh, I just got out of prison, and let's
Yeah.
go party and drink and this. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
now it's you got to be able to see it for what it is now. And
oh, I do. But 10 years ago, 7 years ago, I didn't. I would go party with them.
Yeah. I mean,
but now I'm old, and thank God I'm old and wise enough to know that that's God, telling me, hey, bro, that's Satan messing with you,
For a long time, I would know this and still go do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it takes a lot of willpower to.
The temptation. The temptation is strong, man. But that's what the devil is. The devil is a lie.
That's part of the test.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what trips me out. That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, is it God testing me? Or is it actual demons?
The present darkness can't even be in the presence of God. You know what I'm saying? Like he can't. Yeah, everything that's going on is well, I mean, look at the story of Job. That's the craziest story in the Bible. That's the greatest story I think in the whole Bible.
It turned his back on him.
He allowed the devil to attack Job. The devil said, "I bet you, I bet you I can make Job cuss you."
Right.
And he said, "Well, go ahead and try." He took everything. Job was a very wealthy man. He had a lot of businesses. He had a lot of wives, kids. I mean, he had a great life. And the devil took everything. He covered him in
lost everything.
From the tip of his head to his feet. And even his wife, Job's wife, was like, "Come on, you want to cuss God. Just do it." And he's like, "No."
Oh man,
he wouldn't do it. So I mean, I've had it like even in the last couple of years, I've went not even nobody even knows about the stuff I've went through. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I've been through I went through a really hard time there for a while, just over my beliefs. I got close to God. At work every night, I was listening to YouTube videos like pastors and stuff, and I was praying a lot more, and I was just getting closer to God. And the devil attacked me like major, dude. Like he hit me hard.
Wow. That's it. Well, I mean, it's good to know that you went through that too, because it was tripping me out that I thought it was just me, and nobody else was going through that.
That's why I fell away and I stopped talking to everybody and like kind of just disappeared for a little bit. I just was going through a really tough time.
Well, don't disappear, brother. If you ever need to talk, man, I'm here.
No, I know that. It's just a lot of personal stuff going on at the time, and still, I mean, I still deal with it daily.
Do you ever dream, Paul? Do you ever have any dreams?
Well, no. I'll tell you why later, but no, I don't now because I can't remember them. If I do, I don't remember them. Because of the medication and stuff I'm on.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, me and David's been having similar dreams about different things.
The Lord
says he'll pour out his spirit on the earth in the last days. He said he'll cause young men to see visions and old men to dream dreams.
Mm-hmm.
We're having we're having like apocalyptic dreams on the same night, man. Like, tell them about that one, Lee.
About the moon. The one about the second, we both had a dream about a second moon appearing in the sky, and we described it exactly the same. Exactly. And that was eerie.
The same night.
Yeah, the same. And it was the same night. We had to dream the same night. We've done that a couple times.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. That's why I was asking if maybe you had something similar.
I mean, I had a couple of dreams not long ago. I can't remember what they was.
They were like really weird.
Yeah, I mean, just really strange dreams, man. Like, I don't know. And it's hard for me to remember a dream, but for me to remember one, it has to be pretty serious. But I can't remember now what it was.
Yeah, if they're not vivid, I won't remember them either.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Oh yeah, man. Some of them are just.
Have you ever had one where you woke up and you're like, "Thank God that was a dream." Thank God that was a dream.
Talking about, man, like this last dream I had. That's what it was.
Hey, it depends on what kind of dream. Sometimes you want to go back to sleep and it continues.
Sometimes you don't.
You ever dreamed you won a lot of money and you try to hold it in your hand and wake up?
I haven't had that one, but I wish I did.
Yeah, I have. I dreamed I had a lot of money, and like even in the dream,
Yep.
I realized that I was dreaming.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's a
and then
stinker.
Damn it.
I tried
ain't
to
got
hold
no
on to the
money in
money
my
and wake up.
Wow.
Yeah, those suck.
Yeah, I woke up. I didn't have the money.
Man. Why can't we hit that lottery, Paul? We need to hit the lottery, man.
Hey, buddy, you got to play to win.
I know it.
Yeah.
And I don't play. Do you play it? I don't either.
I'll play scratch off tickets every now and then, and then I'll get on a little losing streak and get mad at the government, and I won't play for 6 months.
Yeah.
$90,000.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that people from New Jersey win the big lotteries?
The only people that win the lotteries is really old people and rich people.
There you go.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up with that shit? It's people in the office or
People
old
that don't need it.
Yeah, or old people.
I don't understand it.
It'd be old rich people and they'll win the lottery already.
I'll be on.
Like that video I watched last night was talking about owning a house. He said, I don't know if the realtor's cat walked across the computer and sit down on the zero key, or the only way to get a house these days is wait for Mr. Beast to give you one.
Man, hasn't stuff just shot up? The price of everything is just it's just went crazy, hasn't it?
Like rent is off the
Dude,
charts, man.
I got $100 worth of groceries, man, and came back with 4 bags. 4 bags, dude. 4 fucking bags with $100
worth of groceries at the dollar store.
Yeah, and that was like one thing in each bag, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, no. Do y'all remember in the early '90s, a whole shopping cart you could get for $100, man?
I mean, back in the 50s and 60s, a man could work and pay for a home. You could pay for a car. You could
pay for a car. Yeah.
You could stay home and raise kids. You could put your kids through college. I mean, you could do all this stuff in the 50s with a job.
Well, when I was
now you can't do it. Now you can't do it with your wife working and you working.
I think my dad said back in the day he went and got a car for like $2,000. He went and got paid from Lockheed, spent that paycheck, bought the car with one paycheck, paid for. And now look at it, man. Financing it and all that shit, and you basically work just to barely get by now, and it's
like when I was your age, I already had a house. Yeah, because they cost $6 back then.
You could buy them out of the Sears and Roebuck catalog.
Look at Flintstones.
Yeah, you could have a gun delivered right to your house from Sears and Roebuck magazine.
Yeah, I remember in the late 70s, early 80s. I remember my parents could go to the store and they could fill up a grocery cart heaping full for $20, man.
Yeah,
for 20 freaking bucks.
I remember
when gas was 58 cents a gallon, man.
Our great grandparents would still complain about the prices then. Imagine if they were alive today.
I remember my dad sending me up. Remember, food stamps used to come in the book. You could tear them out. He'd send all us kids up there with $1 or $2 to buy some candy with, and he'd get the change back because they give you back money. You know what I'm saying? Change. He'd go home and he'd go buy a pack of cigarettes with it.
Wow.
Yep. Me, my brother, and all my friends could go to the roller skating, and for $20, it would pay for everything: the arcade, the food.
Yeah.
I mean, everything for like 3 or 4 of us.
Everything, like getting married, like we went to a wedding. Everything's so expensive, man. Like it's just,
dude, shit.
God help you if you gotta get divorced.
Well, my wedding was 9 G's, and people were telling me, "Oh man, that was cheap." I was like, "What? Cheap?
Yeah.
No."
I mean, traditionally, ain't the
bride's husband,
the
bride's
bride's father supposed to pay for it, ain't
he? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah,
I paid for it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's my mom and dad's dead, so ain't nobody paying for it over here.
But I mean, it was all good.
Walk
it's
around
all
the kitchen
good.
table 10 times or something. That's what I told Chrissy. I'm like, hell, I mean, you have to go pay the government. You have to involve the government in your relationship. You know what I'm saying? I hate that for one.
Me
I'm
and
just
my
so
wife left the
anti-government.
country.
I'm just so anti-government anymore. You know, like I don't.
Well, I'm to the point now, Paul, where I don't want to sign a contract with anybody, and that's
No.
what it boils down to. The government ain't nothing but contract makers, and they want you to sign up for it. I'm not signing up for their contracts.
Sign up for
pay to
this.
get married.
Sign up for
opting
that.
out.
Sign up for this. Sign up for that.
I'm opting out. And I heard him talking about, if we want to get into talking about some politics, I heard him say you got a right wing and you got a left wing, but it's all the same damn bird.
That's the truth, man. It ain't. I mean,
I
think that's why they hate Donald Trump so much. Anybody that's going to stand up for America or Americans or lower anything, or I think they're going to run. I don't even think it has to be Trump. I think anybody. Ron DeSantis.
And you know what? I'm just to the point now where you want to make stupid laws and you want to try to take this and try to take that away. You go right ahead, but you ain't coming to my house and taking it. You're gonna get you more when you want.
Well, we need to abolish the media. We need to put term limits on Congress and the Senate. All this stuff needs to happen. It never will, but it needs to. That's the only way the country will be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
You got the media causing division and hate in the country constantly every day. That's all they do.
Yeah,
literally, that's all they do.
That's right. Just division. And then here we go back to the UFO thing, and now they're wanting you to believe in the UFO thing because that's the agenda that they're wanting to push. But they laughed at everybody. They laughed at everybody that came forward and said that they saw it and made fun of them. Yeah, and then ridiculed them all the way. And then another thing. Oh, I'm getting fired up here. Sorry, guys, but another thing is they've killed everybody that either came up with free energy or got good gas mileage cars or whatever. They've killed everybody that's done it. And now the oil companies are looking at us like we're the problem. And we got to have hybrid electric vehicles now.
All these things are just talking points. These are not things they really want to do. They're not going to do away with combustion engines. They just want to talk about it so they can get votes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You got that right.
I don't believe in global
warming. Remember the guy with the water car? Didn't something happen to him and he died?
Stan Myers. They killed him. They poisoned him.
Well, what about that black guy up in Buffalo, New York? That guy drove across 2 states, and I think they killed 6 or 7 people, however many people.
Yeah, and that guy was a security guard that was working on a water-powered car.
He had already invented it. Just days before that was on the news talking about it, and then all of a sudden he gets shot. And he used to be a police officer.
Yeah, he sure was.
Sorry,
there you go. All these people have come up with all this stuff. That's good technology, and they've got it. Those people have got it, and we've paid for it all this time with our tax money. They've stole us blind. We've paid for it, and they've got the technology. And here they're looking at us like we're the problem, like we're the useless leaders. That's what they call us, the useless leaders. I've got one for them. They're the useless leaders.
Well, we just sit back and let them do it. Everybody's just waiting for the other person to do something about it.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like to me, like the theft started when they taxed your paycheck and then charge you a tax at the gas station or at the store. When they charge you 6 cents on a dollar after they taxed your paycheck. You know what I'm saying?
Like, right.
Do you know about the Whiskey Rebellion? And the rednecks.
Yeah.
And they wore the red scarves around their necks and they went to the mountains because they thought that the Revolutionary War was getting ready to start up again because they were taxing alcohol.
And they also did that during the coal wars in West Virginia over coal.
Mm-hmm.
The Union came in and there was a big deal about that. They also wore red scarves.
They've lied to us. They've lied to us about the Russians, Paul, over in Russia. For years we've seen as little kids, we see these parade going on where they whip out all their tanks and their missiles and all that, and they're parading them down the street. And they'll show you all that and tell you how bad the Russians are, but they won't show you the United States troops that's sitting there marching right beside them because it's a World War II parade called May Day.
Yep. Wow.
But, and guess who we go to space with? We go to space. They take cheeseburgers up on the Soyuz rockets out of Russia. They're the ones that's supplying the International Space Station.
Going to space with Russia.
They launch up and they go right out to the Bermuda Triangle and land back in the water. They ain't going nowhere.
Wow.
Yep.
That's why they scare everybody to death about the Bermuda Triangle, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think you watch these spaceships launch and they go on a big arch and they go right out into the ocean and they go out there and pick them up on a boat.
I don't think they can get out of the. I don't think they can get out of the atmosphere. Do you, Paul? I really don't. From what I've seen,
hell no. Heck
there ain't
no.
nothing going out. There ain't nothing coming in.
You know, and they talk about the scientists. They've got all these mathematical equations and this and that, but it's only as good as their mathematics. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's it.
There's no way, man.
You see all these astronauts wearing these big fancy spacesuits out there. Why are they wearing those spacesuits?
Yeah, exactly.
Remember that one, Paul, you showed me, and they're harnessed in?
Why do they wear spacesuits?
Yeah.
Supposedly because of the vacuum in space is what
we've
been.
Yeah.
There's no oxygen, but yet they tell you there's a big gas ball burning up there.
Yeah, supposedly zero gravity, but yet they're harnessed in.
Yeah.
It's retarded, man. It is. It just goes against everything you learned. And then when you ask somebody about it, they start, they don't even want to talk about it. They just get pissed off.
Or that one with the cardboard door.
What about that astronaut that drowned not long ago? Did you see it? He almost drowned in his spacesuit
because it filled up with water.
Yeah, how'd that happen?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
filled up with his sweat, I guess.
Yeah, it's not. He forgot his right guard.
Yeah,
about killed him.
Oh man, I never heard of that one.
His right guard went left.
It's happened a couple of times.
Oh my! Drowned in his suit.
Yeah,
that's
man,
something.
There is
NASA never a straight answer.
Hey, and people want to believe so bad, man. Like, I guess where I didn't pay attention in school, I don't know. Maybe I'm more open.
Well, it's all money, man. I mean, look at all the money they're getting.
I'm always open to new ideas and learning stuff, and if it challenges something I believe something that I formerly believed, then so be it. I'm not. You want
to see the agenda at work.
I want to know the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I do too.
If it challenges something I believe, then I'll make a conscious decision. An educated decision on it. I'll look up as much as I can, and
yes,
I
sir.
just feel strongly in my heart that the earth is flat. I don't know why. I just feel like the Bible says it very plainly in a bunch of places.
Your intuition, man. We all have an intuition.
The earth is my footstool. The heavens are my throne. So, I mean,
your intuition's telling you, man. You just know it.
God's using a beach ball for a footstool or what?
There you go.
Well, yeah. If you put water on a beach ball, what happens?
It's just, it don't make any sense, man. Like,
it rolls off.
The whole thing just, and anybody that believes that the Earth's not flat, they can't explain it either. So I mean,
well, here's one for you. They tell you that the ice is going to melt at the polar caps, but yet you put ice cubes in a glass and fill it up, and then when the ice cubes melt, it won't overflow because the volume of water is going to stay the same.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's oh, that's true. I mean, like the Earth is. I just believe I believe it's encompassed. I mean, what was that guy's name that went up in that big balloon way back in the day?
Was it Marconi or something like that, or
no,
not Marconi?
Like you see the new commercial they made now, like where he goes up and breaks through the firmament into that water.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I can't think of the guy's name. I used to know it, but he goes up in that, and that guy did that for real. But when he came back, he said the Earth was flat with upturned edges.
With upturned edges.
Yeah, like an ice wall.
Yeah, like a I think Paul too. You said it was like not a dome, but like shaped like a. Yeah, it's flat, but then there's also like it's hard to explain, man.
Well, if you take
I saw the drawing on it, and it makes sense. Like there's pillars.
Yeah, clay beneath a seal. God says God said the earth sits on pillars and cannot be moved. That's what the Bible says.
It's in the Bible, man.
I mean, it says a lot of things. It don't just say that, like the earth. It says the earth took shape like clay beneath the seal. Its features stand out like those of a garment.
Yeah, man.
Four corners.
It's
Four
hard
corners.
to wrap your mind around.
How can something round have four corners?
I don't know. I'm sure there's somebody on here somebody listening probably can tell you.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but that's just the part that I'm trying to wrap my mind around, So somebody in the comments tell me, please.
It don't, like, other people's beliefs don't bother me. Like, it don't.
Oh, no, me either.
It really is something that you have to go and look up yourself. And if you've got the open-mindedness to look into it, you'll come to the same conclusion I did.
It's the same with Dog Man in the pictures, Oh, pareidolia this, pareidolia that. That don't get to me anymore,
Nah, I don't care, man. Like, I don't.
If they went out and got their own photos and saw what we're seeing, that they would change their mind. But they're not going out and doing nothing. They're judging us sitting at a computer. And
it don't. Yeah, I mean that to me that's funny. Like, for somebody to. What's funny is they'll skip over like 6 comments of people talking about what a great picture it is,
right?
And then leave a comment saying there's nothing there. Like, well, thanks, buddy. I'm glad you figured it out for me. Like, now I can just quit doing all this.
Wow.
Oh, man.
That stings.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, they'll leave a comment saying,
all the time. Oh, ain't nothing there. That's a stick and a leaf.
Yeah, stick and a leaf.
Hey,
shadow.
I know what I would like to talk about is I want to talk about that ghost truck that you found on David's picture, Paul.
Oh,
man.
Yeah, even Chrissy's dad, he's seen it.
Man, it's you could tell it's just coming out of the ether or something.
Yeah, when you show the picture to somebody, you have to say, check this truck out. And when they're looking at it, I'm like, do you see that truck? They're like, yeah. I'm like, well, that truck's not really there.
Yeah.
They're like, what do you mean that truck's not there? I'm like, that truck is not there. The guy that took this video and that picture said that truck's not sitting there.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't there.
We enhanced that picture, Paul, and it looks like a barn behind it, and then it looks like there's a guy leaning over the bed. One of them looked like he was blonde-headed. There's another guy down, looks like he's changing a tire, and another guy on the other side looking in the bed.
Looks like it's wrecked, don't it?
Huh?
Yeah. It looked like a tiny little ghost town or something, like a gas station.
A 40 or 50 models car, maybe.
Yeah. I think David. What year was it, David, that you found?
55 Chevrolet.
Yeah.
Pickup
Blue
truck.
Pickup. Yeah. Ghost Lee found the exact year model, and get this, the you can see the trim on it, which would be like there was a blue and white one.
It looks wrecked on the passenger side, don't it? Like the hood's messed up.
Yeah, and the wheel well was, perfect, identical, and so was
when I found that in the video. Listen, I was going back through, like, how you can go into Messenger, like in our conversation,
I can't believe you skipped it and missed it.
Well, no, when I clicked on, like, when you go into Messenger, I can click on at the top on our conversation and go into the profile. And then go down to media and look at all the pictures that mean you've seen each other. And that's what I did. I was looking for a picture I had sent you before. And I just so happened to see those videos you sent me and started going through them. And that's when I seen that truck. And when I seen that truck, I was thinking, damn, that's weird. That's why I asked you about it.
Yeah, that's why I sent it to you, because it was one of the very few that I sent from behind me. And I was like, Paul, I sent some of these. I took some of these behind me. Check them out. And then not even like hour or two later, you were like, dude, do you see this truck? And I was like, truck?
Wild,
what are you talking about, man? And then I looked and I was blown away. And then I showed Lee.
A couple of them where you had a dog man literally right behind you walking too.
Dude, I showed my father that picture, and he was just blown away. He was like, there's a truck down there. And I was like, Dad, no, there's not. There is not a truck down there. It's all cleared out, just brush and a creek and tree limbs, and that's it.
I mean, like, later through the video, you can see that spot. There's nothing there.
Right. Yeah, right.
And even before I got to that spot in the video, it shows that spot and there's nothing there. So
I mean, hell, anybody would know if there was a freaking truck down there. I mean, come on.
It looked
But,
like it just looks like a. It just looked like time opened up, and you can see
Yes.
like you're looking back in time. That's
Yeah.
what it. That's what it looked like to me.
That's what Chad said. He said it was like some kind of stuck in a time loop or something. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what he said. Something like that. Caught in a time loop, and you happen to capture I happened to capture the image of something caught in a time loop.
Paul, when you saw your dog man, when you had your dog man encounter, how big would you say that thing was? How tall would you say he was?
my first one,
Yeah, with the one that walked across in front of you.
it was 7.5, 8 foot tall.
What did the feet look like on it? Can you remember what
It
the
looked
feet
like
looked like?
it looked like a canine foot. Like it
Just-
looked like it would leave a track, like
Is
the
that-
one I showed you here.
Paul, is that the one that looked like it was carrying something?
Yeah, it had its hands up. Like,
So it just had
Like,
regular
what do you-
canine
what do you
foot.
think- what do you think it was carrying?
it wasn't carrying anything. It just looked like it was.
What do you think it was carrying, Paul? Like maybe
I
a
don't-
body?
I don't
Yeah.
think it was carrying anything. I think it just had its hands up like that.
Like that's the way it walked around.
Yeah,
Is
like
that-
it just had its hands up. Like I mean, that was hard to explain, man. It had big lanky fingers too. Like
Was the
See,
hands was the hands in front of it kind of like how a kangaroo would keep their hands, or were they
No,
up
they
in
were
the air?
they were just like it. Literally looked like it was probably carrying a basketball, but it didn't have one. That's what it looked like.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying that.
Wow.
You know, what
Yeah,
I'm
like
saying?
it was palming a basketball, but with both hands.
Now,
Yeah.
did it have did the fingers have claws on it, or could you see?
I'm pretty sure they did. I can't swear. I don't. You know, I was like.
How long?
I was trying
How
to
long
take
did
the
you look
whole
at
thing
it?
in, at one time, but
How
Yeah,
long
it's
did you
hard
look
to
at it before you took off sprinting? Because you said you hauled ass.
oh, it was gone out of sight before I took off. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, okay.
I didn't run while it was. Yeah, I was in shock. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't.
Yeah, you don't want to run when it's there. You took off after it left, obviously.
I mean, like, had that been a bear or a deer or a mountain lion or whatever, I would have shot it. You know, I would have never hesitated. I don't hesitate. I got a big ass gun, 3-inch slug mags. You know what kind of hole it? Like, I literally put a hole that big around
Hey.
it.
Oh yeah.
You know,
What year was that, Paul? Would you say 2001?
1997.
97. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, 97 in November, in between November 1st and November 7th, probably.
Did it have the classic, like people say, the classic bodybuilder shape to it, or was it
Yeah, I mean, it
kind
was
of
muscular.
skinny
It was
and
muscular.
frail,
It was muscular. I mean,
like
it
a
had-
basketball player or like a wrestler?
It had stout looking legs, you know, like its legs looked like they were in great shape. Like
Or like a wrestler or a football player or something?
It had that build. I can only see it from the side, but I could tell that its stomach and stuff went down like if I was looking at it from behind, it would have
tapered.
had that V shape. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah,
Tapered.
it was definitely in shape. Like it looked
Wow.
it looked like it was built to do one thing.
Damn,
Like
7.5, man. That's a big boy.
Yeah, it may have been bigger than that. 7.5, 8 foot. I didn't have a tape measure with me, but when we went back, and looked. Me and one of my friends. The only thing I had was like a tree branch to compare it to. You know what I'm saying? Like so. I may be off a half a foot or so, but yeah, it was 7.5, 8 foot tall.
Right. I forgot. Did you say it had the hawk legs, or in the? Okay, it did.
Yeah, it had the bent back legs like a dog.
Now,
Wow.
that area where you saw it, Paul, do you know if there was any cave systems or anything, or was there creeks or rivers or anything
Water.
around?
Yeah, water.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know why. And like I said in that interview, I never got the feeling like that thing was living there. Like I
Like
don't know
it didn't
why.
belong there.
Yeah, I don't get the feeling like it. I got the feeling like it was just walking through there, passing through, going somewhere. Like it had a mission or a goal that it was going toward. Or I could be wrong, but I feel like that's what it was doing. You know, like I don't know. It looked like it. It didn't look at me. You know what I'm saying? Like it was
Mhm.
gone. It just had It was going from point A to point B, and I wasn't
Did you
going this
see?
way.
Could you see its like? Did you get like a side profile of the face, or could you see the fangs on it,
Yeah.
or anything
I mean,
like?
it wasn't like showing its teeth or nothing, but I did get a view of the side profile, and there's a picture of a dog man that I can send you and show you that's the closest I've ever seen to what it looked like, and its ears. The one I've seen, its ears is kind of like they're pointing up, but they're pointing back. You know what I'm saying?
And were they real pointed, like real sharp
Yeah,
pointed?
they were sharp pointed, but they were pointing. They were angled back. I don't know if he had them that way or she or whatever it was. I'm assuming he didn't look like it had big titties or nothing, but
Like the thigh, like you said, the legs looked like they were really strong. Was it the thighs that looked real thick and
yeah,
muscular,
yeah, the hamstring
real
area there or
real
whatever.
powerful?
Yeah, it looked like definitely. It looked like it could probably run really fast.
Now, when it was moving, was it how fast of a speed was it moving? Was it moving?
Just a steady pace, like it
Just-
was. It didn't act like it was really in a hurry, but it wasn't walking slow either.
Was it clumsy looking, or was it like
No,
very
no,
agile?
it was agile. It was. It looked like it's been walking upright all its life.
Wow.
It had a tail. You know what I'm saying? Like its tail come down and like it didn't touch the ground and kind of turned up a little bit and had like shaggy hair on it.
Would you say it was a juvenile or adult?
I'd say it was a middle-aged male. I'd say it was probably if guessing like a human's age, probably in its late 20s.
Wow.
Was the fur on it? Was it like well kept, or was it shaggy, or
It looked well kept because it was like at first it was so black that I couldn't tell what it was. Like it was
like shadowy looking?
it looked like a black blob. Like
Yeah. Like wow.
Now, when you was seeing it, Paul, was you first thing in your mind was you like, am I really seeing this? Am I really seeing this? Yeah. I know
for the
exactly
first 10
what
seconds.
you're talking about.
Well, for the first 10 seconds, even after I realized what I was looking at, I was like, nah.
No.
I'm seeing something. I'm seeing something I know, but it's just not moving like it's always moved or something. It just
did it cross your mind? Like, at any point, did it ever cross your mind like somebody's messing with me here?
No, because I felt it. I felt it before I seen it.
Like a primal. You felt a primal.
Yeah, I had
like
already stopped
fear.
walking. I had already stopped walking and was looking around because when I got up, I was worried about getting home on time, and I wasn't paying attention to like the silence or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So once I stopped and got that feeling, like I felt like I walked into a nest of rattlesnakes or something. I couldn't move.
Like your body knew it was danger in the area.
Yeah, I mean that's why I say your gut instinct will tell you a lot. A lot of people will ignore it, but God gave you that for a reason.
Absolutely.
I don't ignore it anymore. I don't care what it's to do with in life.
And you know what? If that thing wanted to take you, Paul, it'd have took you in a second.
Oh yeah, like there ain't no doubt about it. If it wanted to kill me, I would have been dead.
Yeah. And if you've seen that one, then how many other things have you walked past in the woods? You know what I mean?
I think about it all the time.
I do too. And now that I've caught pictures of things and the stuff that I've seen out in the woods, I've often thought, if they wanted me, they'd have got me. There's
think about it. That thing was
way.
like 7-8 foot tall, probably weighed 600 pounds, and I was up there. I was up there like 6 foot tall, weighing like 145, maybe 150. Like I was no threat. I could have had a bazooka and I wouldn't have been a threat.
No, and a gun like that, even with a 3-inch thing, it probably wouldn't have even phased it. I mean, you might have made it think twice.
A lot of people call them pumpkin balls, but
oh yeah, I've heard them called that.
But they're 3-inch slug mag is what I was shooting, and it was a hot load too. Like
a Rottweiler.
It'll blow a hole in a deer and put it down for sure. From the distance, I say it was like the distance from me to it was like. I say 60, 70 yards, but it wasn't that far. You know what I'm saying? It was probably, thinking about yardage, 60, 70 feet maybe. I say yard, but yeah, it wasn't. It was close enough. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a lot closer than I wanted to be.
Did it come out of trees when it appeared, or
no? It was walking the old. I guess back in the day they timbered that.
Like a logging road?
There was roads back in there, like switchbacks, and they were all grown up. But like the ridge line went down, it's like the ridge line went down into a gap and then went back up on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then that road came around through there. I guess there's old logging road. Those loggers used that gap too, to switch sides of the ridge. The road went through the gap and around and then went down the other side. So, you know what I'm saying? That thing was walking that logging road. And,
wow.
But once it got on around, it didn't stay on the road. It went over the mountain instead.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember hearing it like break any branches or hearing it. I can't remember hearing it, because once it went out of sight, I didn't stand there another 2 seconds. I was gone.
You went out of sight too, didn't you?
Yeah, I went the opposite direction.
Did you try to keep any trees behind you, like trying to slick your way out of there, sneaking out?
But at first I was worried about maybe I was going to run into another one. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, that makes sense. Yeah.
I didn't know what I had seen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought maybe, like you said earlier, like it was a trick or somebody was playing, But I didn't think it was a trick. I really thought maybe one of my neighbors is a werewolf for real. Like these things really do exist. I never heard of a dog man. I never thought like there was a creature in the woods that stayed like that 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
But
I never heard of a dog man until like Vic Cundiff's show, and I started hearing stories like yours and everybody else's. And, just because I haven't seen a dog man doesn't mean that I don't believe in him. I mean, they're fooling with all kinds of DNA out there. We don't know what's running around us all the time.
As in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the end.
Yes, sir. And they call them chimeras. Yeah, they were
That's exactly what they call them.
The major geneticists back then. Like, there's definitely a lost history there. You know what, Paul? There's something out there that they're hiding. Like you said, they're hiding it from us, and it's a reality that they don't want to admit because the gig is up once it's revealed.
Well, I mean, like I said earlier, though, it says there'll be things come up on this earth that make men's hearts fail them. I can only imagine what's coming.
Oh man,
I think aliens when they do show up,
yeah.
I think it'll be tied into the Antichrist. I think it'll all be one. It'll all happen at one time. You know what I'm saying? Like this global government they want and all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll all happen at one time. I do, personally, but
yeah, I think it will too. It's
because as well as I do, if they stage a fake alien attack, it's going to cause total chaos.
Oh yeah,
they've got that hologram technology now, so they can put military aircrafts in the air and cover them up with holograms, while they're blowing up cities and stuff and make it look like, I mean, there's just all kinds of crazy
you got an enemy firing missiles at 100 aircraft that's not there, and there's only 5 aircraft coming in. I mean, they're going to have trouble picking them out of the sky.
I mean, like there's videos of birds literally flying into invisible things and falling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like these birds flying into something.
Yeah. Is that you talking about that big flock of birds and then all of a sudden they just come flying, just dropping out of the sky?
Yeah. And then there's a video of just one bird. Like it's flying through the sky and it literally hits something, but you can't see whatever it hit and it just falls. Like it killed it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hit an object that wasn't even there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see a probably a fake invasion happening this year, if not next year.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're already prepping everybody for it by
right. Yeah, I mean,
they've shooting
the UFO footage. Lee is capturing UFO footage like you wouldn't believe. Probably once every
about every 2
once
weeks
a month.
now.
Once a month, he's got amazing footage. At least
it's like that balloon that was over
China.
Not long ago. I don't think that balloon was gathering. I don't think it was gathering anything. I think that balloon.
That was a distraction.
That balloon was over here to signal.
That was a distraction for us.
Chinese people that's over here in our country right now.
They were probably downloading info to orders to them.
Well, it was signaling them that it's time to get started because they're going to destroy the country from within. I mean, they're not.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. And I don't know if you've been following it or not, Paul, but you've been following all the train derailments and all that stuff that was happening.
That's what I'm talking about.
Factories burning down, and I mean, they got all this stuff going on around us, and they're telling us that acting like we're not in a war footing or we're not in war. We're in war.
2,000 cattle falling over dead at one time.
Yeah, they've hit us with biological weapons and the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
And we just keep taking it. We just keep taking it.
Well, 3% of Americans own 100% of the guns.
Yep.
That's what keeps us from becoming Venezuela.
Yep.
So I mean, people will give up. They're going to sacrifice their freedom for safety. That's what's going to happen.
Yep. And then they deserve neither.
Yep.
That's what they say.
Yep.
Yep. So,
if it's going to happen, I hope it happens now. That way I can deal with it.
And when they're standing naked in a gas chamber, wondering, well, what's going on here, then they wish that
standing in line down to the local train station, get loaded into a car,
getting loaded up. Yeah.
Going to the nearest virus camp.
Yep, and they're selling us out. You know it.
Yeah, they've already sold us out. The politicians sold us out long ago.
Yep. My grandfather was in the Army for 40 years, and I know people
look at the
won't believe that
right now against Joe Biden and his son. Mm-hmm. Do you know that Joe Biden's granddaughters, who are 5, 6, 7 years old, were getting $1 million wires from China? I mean, come on now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, $1 million wires to kids now in the Biden family. That's unbelievable.
Wow,
that is unreal.
Yeah. I quit watching.
They said 11 family members.
Wow. I quit watching all that stuff, because ain't nothing happening, or it doesn't appear to be, But they say, the white hats are. I know you've heard this. The white hats are in control.
Yeah,
it sure looks like the white hats are in control.
They just keep moving the goalposts.
They sure do. They just keep buying them time. They just keep buying them time.
House.
Oh, Biden's really the president from Guantanamo Bay. They're just really pretending. Yeah,
there's 4 of them, and they're wearing masks.
Yeah,
they're doing this, and we know AI and artificial intelligence is real.
Well, I mean, I've seen a documentary where that guy proved that Hitler was never killed. Hitler went to South America and lived.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He was on the Joe Rogan show. Joe Rogan asked that guy, because in the documentary the guy never comes out and says that Hitler survived. He don't say it, come out and say it, but he proved
it. Joe Rogan, he never really answered the question either.
Well, Joe Rogan asked him, he said, "What, if you had to say, that guy
beat around the
95." He said, "I'm 95% sure that Hitler lived."
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There's still right now to this day, right now in South America, a bunch of blonde-haired, blue-eyed kids running around.
Yep.
You know what, Paul? And here's the thing.
You know why?
What if he's still alive?
No, he's dead by now, I'm sure.
Well,
if I'm not mistaken, that guy said that that's how they figured out that Hitler was still alive and had lived, was like through DNA and stuff. And
they might have a cloned Hitler.
Yeah, he said that you can't take the word of people down there because everybody wants to be involved in, like, oh yeah, I seen boats pull up and Hitler get off. Like, people will lie just to become.
Oh yeah, just
15 minutes of fame.
Oh yeah,
right.
They sure will.
But yeah, man, I don't think anything is as we think it is.
I don't think so either. I think we've been lied to.
I think we live in a world of convenience. You know what I'm saying? Like convenient truths. Like, I don't think anything is as it seems. I think there's a lot of evil at work that's going on behind the scenes in the music industry and in the movie industry and just all these industries. They took a song off the radio, from the 50s, like.
Don't think, Paul. It's true.
What was the name of that 100% song?
100% true.
It's Cold Outside.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I'm trying to think.
I think the name of the song was Cold Outside or something like that. But they took that song off the radio because it had rape vibes. But at the same time, the number one song in America for like 2 or 3 weeks was that that WAP song, WAP
Yeah.
or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now.
Yeah. It's convenient when they want to push it, but yeah. Yeah, they
You get
don't
a
care.
side by side printout of the lyrics and read them side by side and tell me,
Yeah, one of them will read like a nursery rhyme, and the other one will read like a Hustler magazine.
Yeah. And that to me just speaks volumes, man. And it blows my mind that people are not intelligent enough to pick up on this or see what's going on.
I quit watching Hollywood movies. I've quit watching the
Yeah, I don't
news.
watch
I
either.
don't watch any of it.
Yeah,
I watch
TV,
videos
all
on
that shit.
Facebook.
Even
Yeah.
And at nighttime when
Facebook.
I'm going to bed, I'll play a podcast or something.
Yeah, I do too. That's what I do. I'll listen to. I usually listen to Paul Chafin's encounter of his dog man.
There you go, bud.
That's a family favorite around here, Paul.
Hey, we really do, man.
Yeah, we do. I sure do. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy encounter for sure, man. It wasn't scary really. Like, I mean, even though I was scared, like, I mean, it could have been a lot worse, I guess,
Well, I with what happened to me, seeing the eyes in the woods and knowing that there's something there, but I didn't really realize what I was looking at. But
Well,
I never ran. I stayed and I finished hunting, which is I think back on it now and I think, well, you're pretty stupid.
Well, what bothers me is just the effect that it's had over all these years, like just the mental effect.
Well, and it's like you want to know what's around the next corner. You want to know what the hell you saw.
I mean, not even that. I just live in a different reality than most people around me. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I bring this up.
Well, what gets me is with y'all, 10 people with y'all, like Paul and you, Lee, y'all saw what y'all saw. What else is 10, 20 feet from that or 100 feet from that, and how many more, I mean, if there's one that close, that there's at least, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that vicinity with it,
Well,
that right there. One would fucking, sorry, effing scare the shiznit out of me. But just to think that there's a family of them and more, I mean, come on, that's just that's a Charmin moment.
When I woke up that day on the mountain, and I was worried about getting home before dark. After I had that encounter, I got home way before dark.
Oh yeah, and you was probably one of them die-hard hunters that stay out there from daylight to dark.
I mean, when I was a kid, I don't know you got to be from mountains, I guess, really. But when I was a kid, I would run down the mountains and I would grab trees and swing. You know what I'm saying? And like, I could come off of a mountain fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would grab trees and swing and let them slow me down and stuff. But that's how
Tarzan it.
Yeah, I was switching hands. I was switching hands with that shotgun. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have a strap on it, so I was switching hands. And I was swinging around them trees, shit. But I was falling down.
Paul, the one that growled at you, how far away was that from you? Do you think, if you had to estimate?
It couldn't have been far, because it was an open space. See, that's what's troublesome for me, because it growled at me from my right, and to my right there was no trees or nothing. There was weeds that was about a couple of feet tall. You know what I'm saying?
So, like probably 20. I mean, if you had to guess in feet or yards, what would you say?
I think whatever growled at me was cloaked, and it was very close.
Holy shit.
That's what I think, honestly, because I stayed there and recorded, and I never got anything on camera.
Yeah, because it was loud. I mean, it was loud because like the sound of y'all talking, you could. It was almost like equal with that. So if that's the case, then it was right. It was right there, probably 10, 12 feet from you.
Like the video don't even do it any justice. Like, it was loud.
Have you ever been paralleled when you was out in these areas? Have you ever had something walk with you and then like you go to stop and it'd take a second to stop after you?
Yeah, that day that me and Chrissy, I was telling you earlier, that day me and Chrissy were telling, I heard that bird sound off.
Wow.
Yeah, like something was like paralleling us out of there. That's why I say something didn't run us there and it walked us out of there.
Oh wow. That's creepy.
See, that is creepy. I mean, when you stop walking, it stops, and then you start walking, it starts walking. That to me is that.
Well,
that is creepy.
The day that I got this track right here down here to this Jim Beam Preserve, I didn't have anything with me. I didn't have any casting material with me, so I had to go back to the house, and Kurt was with me. I went back to the house. Well, Kurt stayed there, and that guy that was with me when I got growled at went back with me to get went back to cast the track. But on our way back out, I heard something up in front of us run across the trail, and I didn't get a really good look at it, but it was like a fawn color, like the color of a deer, and it had a big bushy tail like a chow does that curved up onto its back, and it run down off the trail into the woods like out of sight. It was definitely a dog, but I don't know if it was a domestic dog. If it was a big one, But it run down out of sight. I only got a glimpse of it. You know what I'm saying? I only seen it for a split second.
Mm-hmm.
The guy with me didn't see it, but he heard it. But it was big. It was a big animal.
I think these things are. I think they're pretty slick, and I think they really know how to hang back away from you. I think they know.
Well, that bluff charge was otherworldly, man. That was a trip. That's something I hope never happens again.
Well, I was going to tell you about that. Go ahead, David.
No, I was going to say I would rather just be growled at than be bluff charged.
Yeah, that was freaking scary.
When I had that incident with the snakes in that area where I went in, I kind of backtracked and I went up the creek bank on the other side and crossed through. It was like a little peninsula there or whatever, and you could like walk around the edge of it and then drop back over in the creek. And I had to cross over a log to get down into the creek because it was a pretty clear path right there, but you had to step over the log to get down in there. And I walked over it and then went on in the woods. But then when I came back, I had to come back that way to go back the way that I came and to stay away from where the snakes were. So I went to climb back up over that log, and this time when I went back, there was a rock sitting on top of that log.
Well, if you look at the pictures I posted the other day of me and Chrissy and my daughter while we were out, it ain't been that long ago, but I posted them on my regular Facebook page. But behind us in that picture is where that growl happened at.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we were in the same area. We were just like the growl. What it is like that four-wheeler path I was walking on when I got growled at. Literally up in front of me, you can see it in the video. It makes like a U-turn and goes back out. And like to my right, the four-wheeler trail is like right over there, and there's like a little patch of weeds in between me and the four-wheeler trail over there. So and in that picture, we had already went around that U and was walking down that path. So the picture's in the same place. It's just on the other side. Look, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the same spot. But yeah, that I've got that picture that looks like a baboon where it's peeking out from behind that tree or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That's odd.
You know which one I'm talking about?
I think so.
Well, that's in the same spot where I got growled at the day before. That picture was taken the day before, though.
Is that grass matted down in there or anything?
No,
matted down or around there?
At the time, it was really green. It looked like the rainforest in there. The canopy's real thick. Sun can't get through.
That's that area down there where you're at in Kentucky. That's a pretty place. You know it.
Paul, do you have the baboon? Do you have the baboon picture right there by you?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Man, that to me is my favorite picture of yours, Paul, by far.
Hold on a second.
I think he had it. He said he had it framed. And if you haven't seen this one, Lee, oh my God, this is the one that.
Is this the one?
It's the one when I first met Paul and saw this picture, I was like, okay, these are for real. I'm pretty sure you've seen it. He had it posted in the Kentucky Dogman as well. If people listening want to see it, it's in that group. It's in that group. The photo is. You may have to go browsing a ways back, but we'll see if he'll repost it. But it's one of the best pictures by far of any. I mean, I've seen a lot of Scott's carpenters. This one right here he's going to show you is the best one I've ever seen.
Let me see if I can turn this around.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that one.
If you look, you can see its pupil.
Yeah.
Yep, sure can.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Now, what kind of tree trunk and plant looks like that? You know what
well,
I'm saying? That you can't. It's just
and
that
one
picture
thing
is
I want to say
unbelievable.
about these is like they'll mimic the color that they mimic the coloring around them, like the leaves.
Yes. And what gets me about that one
Yeah,
is, man, the mean mugging on that thing, man. It is just mean mugging Paul.
wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. That's amazing,
Paul,
Paul.
didn't you take that one with the scope?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All these were the same day.
Oh, that one right there was the one with the tail. It looked like a serpent tail.
This picture right here, though, that's probably
Remember
my
that
favorite
one?
picture out of all the pictures I
Yeah.
got.
Man, you could see the leg coming around there and the
Oh,
whole nine
yeah.
yards.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
Man, that's a good one, Paul.
Yeah, that's a top
That's the
three.
best picture I've got right there.
I like the other one though. I think that's a top three
It
though.
ain't probably the best picture I've got, but it's my favorite just because it's standing on two legs.
I
Wow.
like that one that you recently posted where it looks like you outlined it in the dog man and you can see it and it's massive. Like,
Yeah,
like
The
and it's
cloaked one.
blending in perfect like the Predator.
yeah, that's
I
the day
like
that I had asked.
that cloaked one is amazing.
Well, is that
You
the one
sent
you're
me
talking
one.
about?
You sent me one about a week ago or 2 weeks ago of a cloaked one, and you outlined the cloaked
Yeah,
part.
that was a big one.
Oh, dude, it is like, and I showed
30
it to
feet
you,
tall.
Lee. Remember?
Yes, and it's undeniable when you see it. Like
Yes.
you can see the outline of it. I mean, you didn't even have to really outline it to see it. I mean, once you see it, you see it.
Yeah.
I like that he outlines it because it
I do
does help.
too. I do too.
It does help you see the whole figure. Because
Yeah.
some people have a harder time seeing them, but hey, it's all good.
Oh yeah. That man, that one was amazing. You've
Yeah,
got some.
I keep these in that because I got a little journal that I keep where I write down every time I go out and stuff. And
Mm-hmm. Do you
anything
tell that like the? Do you tell like the weather conditions, the times, and?
Yeah.
That's good.
Now, are you like me? Do you believe the summertime is when these are most active?
I've gotten them. I mean, I did think that.
I know you can capture them in the winter, but to me, it seems like
Well,
by
I sent
far
you.
spring and summer and fall are bar none the best time to
Well,
get dog
can you
photos.
like that one I sent you cloaked? Now, I mean, can you imagine what a track that would leave?
Oh, it'd be huge.
What kind of track it would leave?
Yeah,
It
that
would
thing's
be
like 30
huge.
feet tall.
Oh,
Yeah, that
dude,
thing
no, it would be massive.
be
I
like a
mean,
crater.
I don't know. I really do believe that there's flesh and
I
blood
mean,
out
because
there.
that thing, pictures
I
are hard
think,
to tell by weight, but to me, that looked like it was 500 pounds.
well, whatever these things are, they're really here, but they're not of God. They're not made by God. So I don't think when they
Hmm.
die, I don't think they have a spirit that goes to the same place our spirit goes.
Maybe they're
So
just wandering the earth.
Well, Paul, what if we're looking at them in their dimension, and that's when they are not flesh and blood looking, but whenever they're out of their dimension and in our dimension, that's when they look like flesh and blood.
now, see, now you're getting into my questions. I don't know. I don't know. Can they cross over? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. I
Well,
don't
you know
know.
what I'm saying? It just makes me wonder, like okay, if they're stepping out of their dimension and into ours, maybe that's why people are seeing them. They look like flesh and blood and animal. But if we're capturing them on on our pictures on our cameras in their dimension, they look like they're cloaked and not flesh and blood. That's what I'm trying to get
Yeah.
at.
See, I've got a lot of them where you can just see their head, not the rest of their body, but they look
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
solid.
So
You know?
does Lee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lee's got
So,
some of just like a floating head. I'm like, remember that, Lee? You got one the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Just a
I mean,
floating dog man
this
head
one here,
and on top of a tree branch.
that picture right there was probably 75 yards away from me. And it's
Now,
looking dead at me. Like it's looking right at me. You know what I'm saying?
when you took that, did that could you see that right, or did you see it after you took the picture?
I mean, all three of these pictures, you know what they all three have in common?
What's that?
They're all three staring right at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, these things
Oh,
aren't out there like going about their business, and I just caught them on camera. These things
Now,
are there for one
Yeah,
reason.
and you saw them afterwards, right? When you looked at the pictures, you didn't see
Right.
them, right?
now,
Yeah,
the one you just showed us where you can see the leg looking around, or it's looking around the tree. Is
Yeah.
that one the closest to what you saw that day, or that clock crossed in front of you?
No,
Or is it
no. This
even
one
that's
here,
even different, more
way different. This one
way
here is
different?
way different. I mean, its leg kind of looks the same, but this one here's hunched over like a kangaroo. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell it's just really bent over. This thing is probably 6 or 7 foot tall, but it's bent over at the back, like at its waistline. You can tell it's like
maybe
bent
the
over.
older one. Maybe the older ones. You know what I'm saying? Are kind of like like old people. They hunch over. Maybe
Well,
that's what's going on.
it's holding sticks in its hand. Like, that's how
Yeah, yeah.
intelligent it is.
Man, that's weird. I got pictures where they're holding sticks, and so does Lee.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, they're holding
had it not been holding those
they're
sticks,
holding a staff or a cane or a stick or something. Yeah.
I mean, that one stick looks like an elk horn, maybe. But yeah, and in the video, like, it shakes, it just gradually moves that branch up and down when the wind's blowing and the limbs are in front of my
Shoot,
face
I
are
mean,
moving.
like, if you can speak for Kirk, what does he think these are?
I don't know. I don't
Kinda,
know. Kurt kind of, I
kind of
guess,
the
has
same,
the same. He feels
kind of
the same
probably in the
way I
same
do.
boat, huh?
Yeah, he feels the same way I do about it. There's definitely a spiritual side to it. Like,
Paranormal, yeah.
that thing he got on camera, I think, is a skinwalker.
Is a what?
It's either a skinwalker or a demon or something, man. But that thing is
Interesting.
definitely not anything like I've got here.
Man, all I know is whatever's shaking that tree is shaking it violently, man. And I would have been out of there seeing that.
Yeah, man. I don't. Well, I mean, it's just different and when you're in the situation, you know what I'm saying.
That eye was wicked. That eye is
Yeah.
wicked.
Oh, yeah. That eye was very wicked.
Yeah, that's wild.
When you're in the situation, you'll feel differently. You won't act how you think you're going to act. You can plan it out all day long. You can be like, well, when this happens or this happens, this is what I'm going to do. But that shit goes out the window. Like, you freeze up and panic and, like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I kind of
was
get caught up in the moment. I take, when you take pictures, you don't see nothing, but when you see the evidence, when you come back home, it makes you want to go back out there and do it again.
Well, like that bluff charge, like, even before that, I had that gun. I'm not scared of much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. Even the fact that I go back out after having an encounter with one of these things and still keep sticking my nose and in their business, I guess, or whatever, in their house, that bluff charge really, I got a good look at, it really showed me that had that thing kept advancing, who knows what might have happened.
When is that the one where you got the thorns in the head? And
yeah.
And that, you still got those thorns in there?
No, Chrissy got them out.
Did you? Good deal. Did how close did it get to you when it was bluff charging you, Paul?
Probably. I mean, I don't know. I'd like to say about 20 yards, 30 yards to the tree line. You know what I'm saying? Like,
is it knocking the weeds down and everything?
Yeah,
else?
it covered a lot of ground fast. Because when I first heard it, it sounded like a pretty good distance away. I wasn't worried about it. And then I heard it again, and I could tell it was closer.
Was it
how long did it bluff charge, you think?
It felt like 10 minutes, but it really was only about 60 seconds. Covered all that. It covered that ground in about 60 seconds. And
wow, that's still, man, that's still a long time. That's still a long time, brother.
Funny, man. Like, that thing sounded like it was mad, dude. I mean, it was a mean bark. Like, it was loud and deep, and it really sounded like it was coming to get me. Like, I was sure of it.
How far away from where you saw that first one you saw to where this place is? Is it quite a ways away, or is it in the same area? Or
which one?
The first one that was walked across in front of you.
Oh no, that was in Eastern Kentucky.
Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm in Central Kentucky now. That was in the Appalachian Mountains.
Are you close to? I don't want to say where you're at, but
I live in Nicholasville.
Nicholasville.
Right south. I live about 10 minutes south of Lexington.
10 minutes south of Lexington. Okay, that's how far is that from Louisville?
Kurt lives in Louisville. That's about probably I can be in Louisville in an hour.
Louisville in about an hour. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can be down there in Louisville in about 2 hours.
Right. So yeah,
you're about three
not
then.
Far.
About 3.
That's how long it takes me to get to Eastern Kentucky, where I'm from. About 3 hours.
3 hours. Is that straight across? Or?
Yeah, it's out. There's Mountain Parkway. Takes you straight to Eastern Kentucky. Yeah.
What is that? Is there a road called the Pennyroyal or something like that over around LBL down in that area?
And I don't know. I used to live down right on the other side of the land between the lakes, literally on the other side in Callaway County. I lived there and went to school. From the time I was 12 up until 13, 14 years old.
We got on a road going down through there, going down in through Kentucky one time, and I think it's down past. Let me think here. What's the name of that? Oh, there's Princeton, and then there's. Is it Hopkinsville? Hopkinsville.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But there's a road down there,
Elizabethtown.
Yeah, there's a road you get on down there, and if you get on that thing, it's a highway, but there's nowhere to get off on that highway, and it goes for a long ways. And if you broke down, you'd just be in trouble on that thing.
Yeah,
you know where I'm talking about?
I do know where you're talking about. Mountain Parkway's the same way. There's no gas station. There's nothing.
Hey, Paul, are you getting tired, buddy? It's
I'm getting ready to
kind of getting late, and we can wrap this up if you want to. I really appreciate you coming on here, and
no problem, brother. I enjoy having conversation and stuff.
Heck yeah, man, we're gonna have to do this again. One night we'll go over some photographs and show the people some
it's always
good evidence.
It's always good just shooting the what with you and talking whatever and. Man, always a pleasure, Paul.
Hey, Paul, do you think sometime we can maybe get Kirk come on with us, or is he not like to do this kind of thing?
I haven't talked to Kirk in probably been a couple months since I talked to him. I've talked to him through text message here and there, but as far as talking to him,
shout out Kirk if you're listening.
Man, if I come down there to see you, Paul, maybe I can swing by and pick him up in Louisville.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure he'll be down for it.
I sure
Heck
would.
Yeah, that'd be that'd be awesome.
I'd swing by there and get him.
If he get David to come up here.
Yes, sir.
Dude, hey, we've been talking about it. It's just making it happen, man.
Yeah. We need to put something together.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down whenever you guys.
Because I got some ideas on some things.
Paul, I know what Paul's thinking. I've heard this before. Just show up on my doorstep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready whenever.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I got the spots. All you gotta do is show up.
You got the food.
If I tell you I'm coming, Paul, I'm gonna show up. I'm not gonna be
the same way, man.
Like
I'm
other
a
people.
man of my word. If I tell you I'm gonna do something,
too.
if I can't, then there's really a good reason why.
I just don't want to be, I just don't want to be, in the way or, Chrissy, have a problem with none of us or,
Yeah,
no,
I'm the same way.
We'll all put something together and we'll go down to the Daniel Boone. We'll rent a motel room for a weekend or something. And,
Sweet.
Yeah, that'd be.
We'll that's what me and Kurt did the first time me and him went down there, and we ended up just renting a motel room because I'm not staying out. I'm not doing no night investigation shit. I don't, that's for people that's trying to have an encounter or whatever. I'm beyond that.
Lee, I might have to fly where you're at, and then maybe we could make the road trip down to Kentucky.
Yeah,
he's only about 3 hours away.
Yeah, I'm not very far away.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that'll be awesome. Yeah, we gotta get you up here, David, and then we gotta swing by and get Kirk. So Kirk, if you're out there listening, we're coming for you, buddy. We're gonna come and get you.
Yeah, Kurt will go, man. He's down. He'll roll out. He's not able to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think David's not really either ready. You're not able to.
Well, no, hey, I'm not, I've never been places where I can go deep in the woods. I mean, I want to, but, I'm cool with just hanging with, Kirk and, do a little investigation right there on the the home base. We'll have the
I mean,
we'll
that
have the
video,
whatever.
that video of Kurt's where he got that green eye thing standing there. He's literally standing fucking 10 feet from the car.
I mean, you've seen
10 feet
my
from the car.
pictures. I mean, I the furthest I've gone, probably, Paul, maybe a mile at the most. I've never gone further than that, man.
Yeah, but you ain't went a mile in Kentucky.
That, I mean, most of mine, dude. Honestly, most of mine might be even a quarter of a mile, half a mile in the woods, man. That's it.
Kentucky terrain is something different, man. It's a different beast.
I already know. I already know just from looking at pictures. I can't even imagine just being there and looking. Even where Lee's at, Indiana, is just unbelievable. Seeing the steep terrain,
where I'm at with the big hills that's here, it ain't nothing like Kentucky. I mean, these hills here is
the Appalachians,
like 10
totally
times
different.
taller than. But the one hill that I was on the other day, it was straight down, and I slid on my rear end straight down the hill, and it was like going down a slide. So it was steep, but the ones in Kentucky's even worse than that. And you got to know what you're doing.
The Daniel Boone's just a really, it's got a lot of jagged rocks and
really rugged.
Yeah, it's just rugged. You got to have some good. You got to have good. No, you got to be in shape really to.
Hey, I've lost a lot of weight. I'm getting there.
You come up here and hang out with me. I'll.
Oh yeah,
we'll get you there.
Forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, man, we need to make it happen. Let's do it.
Yep, let's do that.
All you gotta do is come on, man.
Sometime this year, hopefully. Because I don't know how long y'all want to stay, but I can at least do 5 days, 3 to 5 days.
Yeah.
Well, like I told him, I'm off work Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday right now.
So you could have Sunday or a weekend Sunday and then Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, but even if you and him are up here, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we go out, I mean, I can show you the locations. You and him can go back out, and if you want to stay an extra couple of days or whatever, I can show you the spots to go for sure.
And we'll be radioing you, Paul. We're lost. Come get us.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to go in with Paul. I don't know about if I want to go in there by myself.
Oh man,
I mean, hell, I'm not nothing special. Trust me.
I ain't either.
But you're probably
brother. You're probably likely to have a really bad encounter while I'm around.
Oh, I know you know your way there, buddy.
Yeah, that's we'll do that.
Born and raised, you know your way.
Yeah, I mean, in the Appalachian Mountains now, I can cover ground quick.
You got to be really watching.
Yeah, we've been talking about getting those Stewart to go with us too, man.
I was poor. I was poor growing up, so.
Well, you ate the
Lee and I were just talking about that before the show. About I was, and Lee was, and
you ate the raspberries and the squirrels and the rabbits and the deer and the fish. And the mushrooms and everything. Hey, have you been mushroom hunting this year, Paul?
No, I haven't. I haven't got to go yet.
I found 30 about a week ago.
There ain't much in the way around down here like that. I mean, I'm sure there is, but I've never really looked for them around this area.
You just,
Lee, what did I say about being poor with the, you ain't had it rough till you had the country crock bowls as cereal bowls and aluminum foil for lids.
Until you've had to get up in the morning and sit in front of the stove to get warm.
Oh yeah, heck yeah!
Because the coal stove went out.
Hey, we slept on the floor one winter. My mom could attest to this. We slept on the floor. It was all my dad, mom, all of us slept in the living room on the floor in front of the heater. And it was so cold that when we got up the next morning and pulled the sleeping bag up off the floor, there was ice on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad, he was always pretty good about keeping the fire going, but every now and then he'd get pretty drunk and I'd wake up and fire would be gone.
Have to do it yourself.
And it doesn't take long for a drafty house to get cold, does it, Paul?
No, I had to go to school, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, by the time the fire got going, I had to leave. So, like I said, I'd sit there in front of the stove with the stove open.
Yep.
In a chair.
Oh, yeah.
Or boil eggs and put them in my pocket.
And you got
Burn the short.
You got up at dark and got out in the dark to wait for the school bus too, didn't you?
Yeah. I'd have
Remember the Umbro shorts. The Umbro shorts. I would stand by the heater and it would burn those Umbro shorts up like nothing.
You talking about those Jinkos? What was it called?
Yeah,
Tacos.
Oh man! Wow, we're taking it back, brother. We are taking it back.
He knows what I'm talking about.
Man.
Yeah, I know. The pockets.
Oh yeah.
I was lucky to have a pair of Levi's,
Cover your whole
man.
shoe.
And if you weren't careful, that hairspray would catch fire too.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, you wasn't poor unless you had patches sewed into your pants.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, I had those too.
I can even remember kids in school like pegging the bottom of their pants.
Yeah,
wearing those Guess jeans, and they peg the bottom and roll.
Oh yeah,
roll them up.
they wear their Tommy Hilfigers and everything else. Oh yeah.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I got my Jabot and Tommy Hilfiger at the Goodwill.
Hell yeah, man! I used to wear. My dad was on disability, so once I got a certain age, I got a check from him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I think it was like $100 for a while, and then once I got up to 16, 17 years old, it went up to like $300.
Yeah.
So every time I got that check, my dad would just give it to me, which was probably a bad thing at that age. But yeah, I'd go buy clothes and stuff with it. So you know what I'm saying? Like I had Tommy Hilfiger pants and shoes and shit. So
yeah.
You know, my first pair of my first pair of good shoes that I ever had, my mom got them at a rummage sale, and I think she paid 50 cents for them. And they was a pair of these scuffed up, gnarly looking Adidas, but man, I thought they was freaking badass, man. And
they were Psyches.
Yeah, there you
the
go.
S off of soda.
Hell yeah.
Psyche Airs.
They were Adidas. They wasn't even Adidas. They were the A's were gone. They were Adidas, but I love the hell out of them. Holy shit! I'm going to school with my Adidas on, man.
Oh man.
Oh man. Well, I'll get off here, guys, and we'll call it a night. I really appreciate you guys. We're gonna have to put stuff together.
Good chat, fellas, and good chat, fellas. Keep in touch, y'all. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Good talking to you guys.
Adios.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
be sure to check out Kentucky Dogman Project, y'all. On YouTube as well, right, Paul?
Was there anybody listening? It don't show me.
There's one person that shows listening on here.
Yeah, but I'm gonna post it.
Hey,
Kentucky Dogman Project on YouTube as well. Kentucky Dogman Project on Facebook and Texas Dogman Project on Facebook. Paul's got amazing pictures. If you haven't already known,
yep, we sure do.
Check him out. He's got the best pictures out there, y'all.
Yes. When give Stuart a shout out too.
Yeah, Bushwhacking Rooster. Got amazing pictures too. He's a good friend of ours as well.
We're
trying to make that trip happen with him too. Stuart, we need to make that happen too, brother.
Hey, we need to shout out for Miguel.
Shout out, yeah. Miguel gave me a shout out, man. That was awesome to hear that. He's very supportive. Sasquatch Theory. He does amazing documentaries. Good man. He's all about the research and answers, you know, and not about the drama and BS. That's what it's all about. Just like us, you know, passionate about it, and he's a good man too.
I mean, it is sad now to me because I never thought that the cryptid community or dogman community would be like it is. Really, you know, like
right
when I first started doing this, I didn't know, man. I thought, you know, I'd put together a documentary.
Yeah, I wanted to, dude. You know me. I almost hung it all up because of that crap. I didn't want to. Yeah. I didn't want to be part of that drama. I wanted, you know, I like the selected few that we got. You know, that's not about that. I want to hang around the people that are about the answers, and I respect everybody's opinion. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, I don't believe you. I'm not, and I hate you for that, you know. But there's a lot of people out there that judge you because you think different, and I'm not that way.
Yeah.
Hey, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, tell Chrissy thanks for letting you come and play in the sandbox with us, and happy Mother's Day to Chrissy.
Thank you, Chrissy.
Happy Mother's Day to Mama Phantom, and happy Mother's Day to my mom. I love you. And
all the moms out there, you rock.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of single moms out there, you know, brought us up, and y'all are amazing. Man, man, I don't know what to say.
Thanks, Mom, for those Ditas.
Chrissy's an outstanding mom. Like, yeah, she's
oh yeah,
yeah. Thank you, moms. Really, it means a lot.
absolutely.
Without them, man, I don't know where I'd be. Probably in prison, man.
That's right. Yeah. They really sacrificed a lot to give us what we had and to bring us to where we are here today.
And when they're gone, they're gone, man.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Lee's mom too. Wonderful woman. Love her to death.
Well, she's
my mom too.
Yep.
Just all the moms. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we'll end the show on that note. It's good talking to you fellas, and we'll do her again. We'll catch you guys on the other side.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys.
Keep in touch. Later,
Adios,
Paul.
guys.
Later, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Don't tread.